Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for Panthers fans by Panthers fans. That's right. If you would like to jump in and be a part of the conversation that we are having here today, you may do so. I have pinned the link to join via StreamYard at the top of the YouTube chat. Be a part of the conversation, man. It doesn't matter what's going on in Panthers football. We will find something to talk and probably argue about because that's what we do, you know. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. We appreciate you spending your Friday evenings hanging with the boys. First up, we got my man Christian Sigma Panther back on the free for all. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Doing well. Ready for another Friday free for all talking Panthers football. Right now it's just you and I, buddy. You and I with
Yes,
quality time
sir.
together while others get showered up, get their game faces on, looking pretty for us. Looking forward to
Yes,
talking
sir.
about it. What we're gonna talk about? Jersey numbers, Chris Brazzell. What else
Yeah,
you
we're
got?
going to talk about a little bit of everything today. The Panthers issued jersey numbers for the rookies and for their free agent class. But we're also going to talk a little bit about, is it possible that Chris Brazzell could push Xavier Legette off of this roster in a potential trade? There's been a lot of rumors about this. Joe Person had floated this in a recent article. Time will tell if that's true. But listen, man, Xavier Legette has been sort of on the bubble and on the hot seat with Carolina Panthers fans for a while now. So now you have this young, fast, dynamic, 6'4", huge catch radius of a wide receiver in the form of Chris Brazzell, and people are wondering, hey, could he push some of the other wide receivers on this roster either down a notch or off of the team completely? It's a conversation that we're going to have today, man. But um, Christian, you brought it up, and we are indeed going to talk about it. The 2026 draft class has their numbers, and we'll go through them. Monroe Freeling, 57. Now, I normally don't love my offensive linemen to have low numbers, but whatever, dude. That was his number in college. He retains the same number in the NFL. You know, I'm not really going to complain too much about it. Lee Hunter, 92, great defensive tackle number. Chris Brazzell, 19. That's a good wide receiver number. Lee, the number 24. Will Lee, the third, number 24. Sam Hecht, 75. Zakee Wheatley, 48. And Jason Kuwach, number 46. I mean, not a ton of real news, but just what are your blanket assessments of these numbers, Christian? And how much do you care about any of these numbers?
Well, I mean, dude, like, okay, being a fan 20 years ago, this was big for me because those usually stayed. Those numbers, they usually kept them. Now they don't. They'll probably switch. Some of these guys will switch. I think Freeling will keep his. Hecht will keep his because they both had those numbers in college. You may have Will Lee the third keep his. He was number 4 in college. But Kuvac, and I think it's pronounced Kuvac. I'm not. I think the W is like a V, but I don't know. I can't confirm that. I heard someone mention that though. And then
Is it
Wheatley,
Polish
what
or
was
something? That sounds like an Eastern Bloc type of thing. Kovac,
yeah, I
like he's
think it's a
Ukrainian or
V.
Polish or something.
I was listening to a podcast that I think asked him or someone mentioned it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm big
Mhm.
on pronouncing names right because I think it shows each person respect.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know about Brazel, Hunter, Wheatley if they'll keep those numbers. I mean, right now they're kind of, you know, it's just cool info, but I wouldn't buy any of these yet unless it's Freeling.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
speaking of though,
yeah, go
Will
ahead.
Lee is wearing Jonathan Brooks' old number. Jonathan Brooks is now 25 from what I saw.
Yes. Um, Jonathan Brooks. So I actually have a list here. These are all the new numbers. Jalen Phillips is number 5. So that's cool. I like that. That was one of his original numbers. Devin Lloyd, who we picked up in free agency, is number 55. So there was a lot of talk. Would Jatavian Sanders give up number 0 to give that to Devin Lloyd because that's what he wore in Jacksonville? That will not be happening. Devin Lloyd is wearing number 55, which, if we're going to be honest, I'm happy about. I think 55 is just a great linebacker number. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of old school in that sense. Like, there are certain numbers that you identify with certain positions. And to me, that's one of them. I'll just roll through these. Tershawn Wharton is 98 now. Cam Jackson, 99. Jared Henson Hunt, 94. Jonathan Brooks is 25. Kenny Pickett, 12. John Mechie, 13. Will Greer, 14. Tyreek Thunderberg, 20. A.J. Dillon, 28. Michael Reed, 35. Nick Hampton, 39. And, dude, it's just a bunch of who gives a fuck after that. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, no, I like these numbers good. I like the numbers specifically for Devin Lloyd and for Jalen Phillips. I think that those are good numbers. Again, it doesn't mean shit, but I just think that it's overall cool just to have those numbers kind of fit in a certain way. Yeah. We've had some really good linebackers have 50 numbers, so if we can continue that trend, I'm happy with it.
For sure, man. I mean, I'm not a fan of 0. I don't know why a lot of players, there's always players on each team that want that number. They covet it so much. I'm not a big fan of that, but I am old school to a certain degree. However, I don't mind a little bit of a change, and I definitely would side with if the player's happy, then that's great. But it does throw me off a little bit when I see like a number 32 at inside linebacker or even Jalen Phillips, number 5 at edge rusher. But hey, you know what? That's just because I got too many gray hairs on me. That's all.
Well, also, number 24. There we've had some really good number 24s in our history, man. Josh Norman, he wasn't great as a non-Panther, but as a Carolina Panther, Josh Norman was incredible. Probably had the best shutdown corner season of any Panthers corner, maybe in our entire history. He's definitely up there. James Bradbury, a couple of years after that, he was really good for a long time. So now Will Lee is wearing number 24.
Who was that short guy? I'm forgetting his name in the first Super Bowl. Was it Manning? Manning Jr. something? Ricky Manning Jr. Is that his name?
Damn, you're gonna put my Panther fan card this early. Again, my fandom really started in 2011. So once it goes before that, I sort of draw blanks on.
I have the history, but I don't have the memory to go with it.
That's fine.
That's what happened. Yeah, Ricky Manning Jr., number 24. Man, he was he was a beast.
No, he was. He was one of the greats of the Carolina Panthers. I mean, I know the name for sure. And it just, but those are big spots to fill. If you're gonna wear 24, like, I don't know, that has meant something in the very recent future or recent past for the Carolina Panthers. And it'll just be interesting to see, because again, we sort of talked about this on Tuesday. Corey Thornton for the Panthers. He was good last year, and a lot of fans are still excited about what he has the potential to be. And I think a lot of fans aren't ready to give up on him yet. And now we have something that looks like it's going to be a camp battle between Corey Thornton and Will Lee. So we'll see what that leads to, man. I'm excited for it.
For sure.
All right, let's talk about this. And by the way, if you would like to join, the StreamYard link is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. We appreciate you guys. Not a whole lot going on in Panthers football, but we did have some off-season training activities that happened today. And one of the biggest clips that sort of went viral was Chris Brazzell Jr. or Chris Brazzell wearing number 19 with the fantastic catch. You see the shiftiness, you see the feet. And again, a lot of people, the moment that he was drafted, started to talk about what does this mean for Xavier Legette, who has largely been somewhat of a bust in his time here in Carolina. But also a lot of people sort of falsely accuse him of just being another bust of a Tennessee wide receiver, or that he will be another bust. I put on Twitter today, the worst thing you could have done in regards to Chris Brazzell is judge him negatively just because he was a Tennessee wide receiver. Don't let all those bunch formations fool you into thinking that Chris can't cook. So my question is just sort of for everyone in the chat room and for you, Christian, what are your expectations for Chris Brazzell this year? And is there a possibility that he can push Xavier Legette for a spot on the roster, or even in a potential trade scenario where the Panthers are looking to see what they can get for Xavier Legette on an open market?
Yeah, man. Actually, there was a what I think was a better clip of him catching a ball today on Twitter going around.
I'm gonna check out Mike K's Twitter page.
But honestly, here's how I see the wide receiver room right now. Honestly, I think from wide receiver 2 down is up for grabs. I think it's just best player, best setup, best 2 to 4 receivers on the field. It is going to be what we see, because you could have. I mean, XL can get back up to wide receiver 2. Brazzell could do it. Coker could do it, of course. I'm not ready to give wide receiver 2 to Coker alone. He had a great finish to the season. However, they're just so young that I'm of the opinion that you can still get beat out. You haven't set you have no claim to that position other than T-Mac. Jimmy Horn Jr. has a shot, although I think he's just a little bit too small. There's another guy, Kobe Prentice, who I've heard a lot about. We signed it as an undrafted rookie free agent who, could come in and battle as well. So I think the wide receiver position, that's the one I'm talking about right there, Cody.
Yeah.
The first, you want to know what
turns back, makes a good adjustment to the football, and then snags it and brings it in. This actually great because Steve Smith Sr., when he made his assessment of Chris Brazzell, one of the reasons he was kind of low on him was because he said that Chris Brazzell was nothing but a body catcher. And almost every clip that we've seen today, at least, catching against air, I mean, he has caught absolutely everything with his hands. So I think that's at least a good sign to step in the right direction.
Oh, yeah. You want to know what my first thought was when I saw both those clips, though? Just take a wild guess.
Let me see. It's either something to do about Bryce. What can Bryce put the ball that high? I don't know what.
It was my literal first thought was, who the hell is throwing him these damn balls? Because I think one of them was Haynes King, and I'm pretty darn sure Bryce ain't out there. But I mean, come on, bro! What was it? Oh, see, that one wasn't bad. But what excuse was it? Joe Person who kind of said, "Well, this is the first. They've never played catch." Come on, man! Like you can't be that off on your throw. But we got like that one right there. Like that's pretty off in my opinion.
It was off.
That's Haynes King, and Mike K mentioned something. It made a lot of sense, really. You got to remember these two have, up until a couple of days ago, never even met. They've never thrown the ball together, not even pass catch. So they're learning each other quite a bit, and I think that's something that we, who haven't played in like 100 years or never played, can't really put ourselves in that situation.
Yo, shout out to our boy Keeb. Shout out to Keeb in the chat. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. Haven't talked to you in a while. But Look, I just mentioned this pickle. By the way, welcome Panther Pickle back to the Friday Free for All, repping the blue and black attack. Pickle. One of the things that I mentioned is that if you look at what Steve Smith had to say about Chris Brazzell, one of the knocks that Steve Smith had about Brazzell is that he was a body catcher, that he let everything come to him rather than him go and get the ball.
Right.
And judging from all of this, all the stuff that we have from today, everything that was put in this vicinity is a hands catch. Like he's using his hands, he's adjusting to the football.
Right.
And again, this is part of the reason why you draft a 6'4" wide receiver. That catch radius is such a benefit to him. Put the ball somewhere near him, and in theory, he should be able to come down with it. Like even that last ball, that was kind of above him a little bit, but he has long arms and he can go and get the football. It's exciting to think about what he can bring to this team this season.
Right, and if you take what Steve Smith said in 50-50 percentages, 50%, he said draft Mingo, he's going to be a star, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
He said don't draft T Mac, he was going to be a bust, and he ain't. So reality is, I hope Steve don't like him. I mean, it seems to be the better, the better game plan here. I mean, I love Steve Smith, the player. Right. I love Steve Smith, the player. But Steve Smith, the attitude guy, the friend, not so much. Steve Smith, the family man, well, maybe not so much. Steve Smith, the talent evaluator, maybe not so much. I mean, just reality here, so, but, I like what I've seen from Brazzell. I watched the Tulane tape. He did a lot of catching with his hands, but I know a lot of the Tennessee receivers catch balls with their body instead of their hands. So it may be a thing that Tennessee runs because Tennessee don't have the most intelligent coaches out there.
Well, my problem with Tennessee, Pickle, is not the hands catching or body catching. Like, to me, that's very dependent on the individual prospect in question. But it's, can they win against press in the NFL? Because a lot of those Tennessee receivers, there's so many bunch formations. They run so many trips. It's very rare that any one of these receivers at Tennessee are responsible for creating separation just on their own natural ability. And to me, that's something that all of his Tulane tape helps to put to bed. But also that size and athleticism and just the shiftiness of his hips. Yeah, you're either born with that ability or you're wishing that you had it.
Right. Because he was by far my favorite prospect in Tennessee. By far, a long ways. And like I said, he had the Tulane quarterback throwing it to him, which was a Pratt, and he had Joey Aguilar throwing him the ball. So surely Bryce had to be an upgrade. I mean, to take them two, Bryce would have to be an upgrade. And I'm not 100% certain. Maybe even Haynes King is an upgrade. I mean, maybe even Kenny Pickett. We're going to leave out Mr. Greer over here. He can take his number.
I don't know much about Aguilar. So then you would have to tell me about him. But hey, shout out to Nirvash, man. He's already dropped some super chats. Hey man, it wouldn't be a free for all if we're not talking about Bryce, right? He says, your opinions on the trade up for Bryce now that it's been 3 seasons. What do you think? Who do you think has won the trade? The Bears or us? Sorry if this is off topic. It's all right, Nirvash. My thing about Bryce is pretty simple. I haven't really changed my mind a ton. All I'll say is that this season is a gigantic season for Bryce Young. We've put offensive linemen around him. We've put weapons around him. Later on, we're going to talk about, are the Panthers in the trade market for another tight end? I kind of don't think so, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Would I still have picked Stroud? I don't know. Probably so. I feel like the heights have been higher. He certainly did not look good in the playoffs recently. But
Right.
this is
You're
a
right.
maker. This is a make it or break it year for Bryce Young. We put weapons around him. We put offensive line around him, and now we're adding to the defense in a meaningful way, where the Panthers are building a contender 1 year removed from winning the NFC South. So we've gotten better every single year. The team has gotten better every single year. This is the year for Bryce Young to essentially prove that trade was worth it or not. And the Panthers are doing everything that they can to give him that much of a cushion.
But if you don't mind it, I'm not going down that route again. I got carried away last week, but I'm not going down that route again. I'll just say I believe, as much as some people don't like it, there is a lot of people on this staff and this roster. This year will count. This year will majorly count.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of these, if you go over the entire 2024 draft class, they either make it or break it this year. They make it and they stay on the roster, or they break it and they're cut. But if you're also looking at Dan Morgan, I mean, we can be happy about what he's doing now, but we were just happy about after the 2024 draft. So, it goes without saying that, Canales and Dan Morgan, they still have to prove themselves that they're capable of putting together a good roster and actually winning with it. Canales gave up play calling. Did he give it up because we've been having so much success? No, he gave it up because he couldn't handle both jobs. So right now, Canales is like, okay, let me do one job and see if I can handle it. There's a 50-50 chance that if Canales can't handle himself this year, there was going to be some realistic talk about moving on from him. And as we all know, because we've all watched enough football, and people in the chat can deny it if they want, but most of the time when you bring in a new head coach, he brings in new players. And some of the players the fans may like, the new coaches may not.
Yeah, I'll get in on it just to answer that, who won the trade. I think my honest opinion is, even though I'm very vocal in my what I think is fair expectations and criticisms.
Chicago won the trade.
I actually, my answer is I honestly think that it's too early to tell. I think we could look at it in like who's currently winning, but I think we have to wait years down the road and see who won more based off of the trade. I mean, if we end up winning a Super Bowl, then that easily tips the scales in our favor. If we just have to kind of see right now. I think as far as who's winning though, I would probably, I don't know, man. I would probably lean Bears a little bit. But I don't really watch a lot of Bears football to kind of see how they're playing. It just seems like that on paper because they've had so many picks because of it. But I couldn't tell you what the second round picks were doing or what. I have no idea.
So there's a couple relevant factors. There's a couple relevant factors to all of this. One, the Bears feel like they have their franchise quarterback, and they made a legitimate playoff push last year. And Caleb Williams looks good. Like last year, he put up better numbers than Bryce has in his entire time here in Carolina.
Yeah, he's very inaccurate though, man.
Well, but some people say that about Bryce. The point being, let me say I do agree with you, Christian, that it is too early to tell. Even 3 years later, it's still too early to tell. Mm-hmm. There's also, we sent DJ Moore to the Bears. DJ Moore is not a Chicago Bear anymore. He's a Buffalo Bill.
That was a failure by Chicago. I don't give a damn what rumors or anybody else says. That's a failure by Chicago.
Well, they blame him a lot because that final pass in the Bears playoff game against the Rams last year, DJ Moore stopped running his route short and what would have been a surefire first down.
You know why?
Probably puts the Bears in field goal range.
I heard from a very reliable source their quarterback, the Chicago quarterback, Caleb Williams, he had too much nail polish on his fingernails and weight his ball down.
Oh, that'll do it.
Exactly what it was. Yeah.
That'll do it, man. That'll
Yeah.
do it. That
Practicing
nail
in high
polish.
heels don't always work.
Yeah, that nail polish it ups your estrogen levels. They don't tell you that, but yeah, it sucks sometimes. But Pickle, you mentioned 2024 draft class and how important it is for him. And we started the conversation with, since Chris Brazzell is sort of the talk of Panthers football at the moment, the Panthers are doing, off-season training stuff today. I don't know if they're going to be there tomorrow or not, but point being, they were doing stuff today. Y'all saw the clips of Chris Brazzell. Do you think there is a possibility that Chris Brazzell pushes Xavier Legette down this roster? And could the Panthers even look to trade him? He was the number one. He was the first pick for the Panthers in 2024, the year after we drafted Bryce Young. We moved up into the first round in order to draft him. We were hoping that he would be a dependable number one wide receiver at the time. And frankly, at the moment, he's probably not even wide receiver 3. Maybe he's wide receiver 3. I think it's T-Mac. I think it's Jalen Coker. And then maybe it's Xavier Legette. But he is needing a big-time year this year here in Carolina. I mean, I know we haven't seen, Chris Brazzell in a real NFL game to this point, but what are the chances that Xavier Legette starts to get pushed for another younger, speedier wide receiver?
It's possible. I mean, you cannot watch the last few years with him as your receiver and say, "Oh no, things are fine." You can't do that. No matter how much maybe you're a South Carolina fan, no matter how much you want that to happen, it's just not face up reality. Now, I just see a clip put out by Vasti or somebody of Xavier Legette running a route. Hey, what I would like to see, and I said this on my podcast with the boys, I want to see Xavier Legette come out of this. I want to see him come out and look ready to go. I want to see the most brutal, the most hard hitting, the most hard fought wide receiver battle in history. And and I'm gonna throw this out there. You ain't mentioned it, but why not Coker? Coker's got to come out just as hard as Xavier Legette and Brazzell does to keep his number 2 spot. They're not just going to hand it on a silver platter and say, "Here." He's got to come out in better shape than he did last year and stay healthy this time. Because, yes, in the NFL, you do lose your jobs because you get hurt. That's just a factor of life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I also think it's fair to say that Jalen Coker has meant more to this offense than Xavier Legette has. And Coker spent half of last year injured and hurt and not even playing.
You're
right. And then when he comes back, he instantly becomes a meaningful contributing weapon to this team. And I don't think that that's a coincidence.
Right. And I just think you're blind if you think Xavier Legette is walking in as a guaranteed number 3. You're just imagining yourself into pain, because listen, and he looks good, but I'll be honest with you, he's looked good like that before. I'm not worried about him catching the ball in practice. I want to see how he catches the ball in the game. I want to see where his feet land when he catches that ball in a real game, or his feet in bounds.
A little while ago we were talking about Haynes King throwing that pass to Chris Brazzell, and how there is something to the conversation of a quarterback and a wide receiver getting on the same page.
Right.
Well, this is going to be year 3 for Xavier Legette, and I swear Bryce and Xavier Legette have never consistently been on the same page. I feel like there's no chemistry between these two. Whereas when you look at Bryce and T-Mac, for example, not only did Bryce push for the Panthers to draft T-Mac, but he becomes the offensive rookie of the year last year, over 1,000 yards. And it's like those dudes, they have an undeniable chemistry already. So there is something to that. So to me, this is not just can Xavier Legette prove that he can run the routes, that he can catch consistently. It's can Bryce, as a quarterback, get to a level where he consistently can depend on Xavier Legette to be where he needs to be in his route progression, to come down with the ball, and to get that yards after contact across the middle of the field that they've been wanting Xavier Legette to kind of be. They've almost wanted Xavier Legette to be another version of Deebo Samuel. He is not Deebo Samuel, but he is strong enough to get yards after the catch. And I think that they're looking for more of that from Xavier this year.
Right. And somebody in the comments mentioned something about Xavier Legette, the tight end. Y'all, that's Madden stuff. Come on. He ain't nowhere near big enough, strong enough, heavy enough, fat enough, or anything else to be tight end. Now, you got to remember, height doesn't include his hair on top of his head right now in this video. All right?
How tall is Xavier Legette? I've seen him listed as everywhere from 6'1" to 6'3".
I think he's six. I think he's 6'3". I'll look up real quick.
I call bullshit. I do not think he is.
I think he was. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen the same thing, man. I think he was measured 6'1".
ESPN, and I'll say ESPN says he's 6'3", 227 pounds.
I don't buy it, man.
Right, he would be the worst tight end on this roster without even
No, you're right.
That's Madden stuff.
Anyone who ever says that, name one wide receiver that has ever successfully converted to tight end. Can we even name one of them?
Right.
Like that doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Well, we've had more quarterbacks converted to wide receivers than we've had wide receivers converted to tight end. We've even had a couple wide receivers converted to corners converted to wide receivers. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of a wide receiver converted to tight end and be great. Some of them converted to tight end because they fat and can't get away with the buffet.
And some of these quarterbacks are so athletic that, even playing the position of quarterback, you want to transition them to wide receiver just because you don't want to waste that kind of physical ability. But
Cody, with all due respect to those who and without reality, I nowhere near mean hate on Xavier. It's just bottom line is if Xavier Legette doesn't fit here, I wouldn't care for them to trade him to a team that desires him and wants to use him in a way that maybe he fits on their roster more than Dave Canales' roster. In reality, I wouldn't care for that. I'm not saying I want it to happen because he is a former first-round pick. I know, but you also got to understand it won't be to anybody on our schedule because Dan's more than smarter than that. Scott Fitter was never that intelligent, ever. I'm not certain what he did to get his job at GM, but damn sure wasn't because of his hard work.
Stephen Bailey says Bryce targeted XL over 60 times, but he had only 35 receptions. Bryce giving him chances, but they don't click.
Right.
Yeah, he had some drops too.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I say. With all due respect, it's not that I want Xavier to fail so I can laugh and snicker when he fails. If Xavier Legette doesn't fit here, let him go somewhere else that maybe he can fit better.
But,
now, like I said, I would rather him show up for camp. We would be overwhelmingly happy if we all of a sudden at the end of camp realized we had three starting receivers and one of them was pushing T-Mac for the number one job. That's what we'd like to happen. But
so here's the thing on that on that 60 targets, how many of those were catchable balls too? And I'm not being hyperbolic. I watch every game. I watch every snap. I mean, it's obvious that
there was some
there's a disconnect there. There's no chemistry. they haven't clicked. So how many of those should have been caught by XL would be my follow-up question.
That really don't count. They when Darren Waller was in college, when he went out to the draft, multiple organizations already had him labeled as a tight end. He just didn't. It's kind of like the Patriots.
Yeah, they're saying Darren Waller was a
convert. Right. Yes. Yeah. The Patriots drafted a few years ago a quarterback just to make him a tight end. They figured they would prove to him that he would be failed as a quarterback and they can convert him to tight end. Well, or wide receiver. He laughed at him, and they ended up the next year trading him to the Cowboys for a pick because they didn't want him to push their franchise quarterback for a job. And they knew that was going to happen. So
here's the thing, man. I mean, I'm with Cody, bro. Like, I'm going to bring this back up because if you go to the Panthers page, they have XL listed at 6'3", 227 pounds. At the combine, he measured in at 6'1".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would go with the combine. I would go with the
too.
combine. I would always go with the combine.
And then Kevin's in the chat. He's a Gamecock fan. He says 6'2". So you see what I'm saying?
Right. You're
right. Between 6'1" and 6'3". How tall is the dude?
How about this? I'll care when he starts catching balls.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, though. In reality, and I don't really care who likes it, 6'2", 6'1", 6'3", 6 foot. You're all too short to be a tight end. Just end the conversation to me.
Yeah, there's no way he's ever going to be a tight end. He's either going to be a receiver for the Panthers.
He can't block correctly. No, he doesn't fit that.
The better question is this. The better question is easily this. Would and could the Panthers trade him? If so, how much? Like, we bring up Jonathan Mingo, like that would just be easy to do again. What? Didn't we get like a 7th round pick for Mingo?
We got a fourth. We got a fourth.
Oh, the fourth from the Cowboys. Yeah.
I think it was a 4th.
So then what's the possibility that the Panthers get a 4th or I'm going to be real. I feel like if we got a 4th or a 3rd for XL, that's doing business.
You're
not
right.
mad at that.
But let me throw this idea out, Cody. And you read the tweet earlier today. I said that in jest, and for those of you who aren't, I said that as a joke. That would be a better word because some people don't know what jest means. But I said that as a joke. Well, the only way I could see us trading for a tight end would be if we traded a receiver. Well, and I really mean that. Let's just say you don't do a simple player for player trade. Remember, Dan Morgan's done those before. You just held up the 2024 draft class earlier. We had a linebacker we took in the 7th that Dan traded for a corner they were getting ready to cut. If we're to a situation sometime this offseason that we're at the verge of saying we just don't have the room for him, you make a few phone calls. You never know what that other team's going to say. Well, we've got this other position over here for us, and we're getting ready to cut a few guys. Let me send you the list and see if you want any of them. And there you go. That's how it could happen to me.
Yeah.
I would almost rather do that than get a late round pick like a 6 or a 7. That most of the time ain't going to amount to nothing anyway.
Again, I don't think any of us would deny that XL has the physical gifts to be good. He can be a legitimate wide receiver, but we need consistency. Or else what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is, again, to bring up that 2024 draft class, like, this is a big time year for those guys to prove themselves and to prove that they can be meaningful contributors on this team. Because of right now, like Kev, of course, he has all the faith in the world. He says it's him or Coker for wide receiver 2. I don't know, man. Like, at this point, I don't even know how you can compare XL to Coker. Like, to me, Coker has just done more and made more meaningful plays for the Carolina Panthers than XL has. So if you are projecting it to be XL, you're doing just that. You're projecting, and maybe you're right about it.
No,
But-
I don't think Xavier Legette is even in a competition for number 2 spot. I don't. And Kevin, my man, there's no way on earth you're going to convince me otherwise. Nowhere. That nowhere on earth you're going to convince me otherwise. Now, if Xavier Legette shows up for camp and he looks as good in the dirt on turf as he does in the dirt, and he really looks like the part, unlike he's looked the last 2-3 seasons, then maybe. But till that actually happens, he's not going into day one, opening one, and saying he's competing to Coker. I like Brazzell, and I think Brazzell can push Coker out of the way. But it's going to come down to game time. It's going to come down to play on the field. They're not giving Xavier Legette the number 2 spot or the number 3 spot just because he was drafted in the first round.
As I was saying earlier, man, I think wide receiver 2 down is up for grabs. If I had to take a bet, I would say probably Coker has the inside edge, and then I would put Brazzell and XL kind of at equal ground right now, just because XL hasn't showed much, and Brazzell's the new shiny toy.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Dude, I'm all for XL, man. I was excited when we drafted him, but let's be real here. Come on, Kev, you have to be real. What has he really shown? He has not shown wide receiver 2 production, or even talent or execution on the field. That's just the facts right now.
Kev, come on the show, bro. Stop pretending like you don't fucking love us. You fucking love us.
You can't handle it anyway.
No, I can't handle all this loving. You know what I mean? But
Hey,
I wanted to.
crap right now.
Yeah, no,
a while ago, he said that, or no, not Kevin didn't. Somebody else said that Xavier Legette never had trouble catching Andy Dalton's pass. That's a lie, because Andy Dalton started as Buffalo Bills. Xavier Legette caught 2 passes for 17 yards, but he was targeted 3 times.
I think he means the prior season, right?
Well, last year, the prior seasons don't mean diggly dog. Cam Newton was once a great quarterback. You put him on the field now, he probably couldn't handle it.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you want to say it means nothing, that's fine.
Christian,
but
you froze, and you was just
you were seasoned. But it's not really all that false, Pickle. It's not saying that Dalton is a better quarterback than Bryce. I think we all know that isn't true.
Yeah,
but it goes back to what I'm saying. I think that certain quarterbacks have better reps and better they just have a better vibe with the wide receiver. Whereas, just as a baseline example, Stephon Diggs with the Vikings, okay, he was okay with Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. And then it goes to Josh Allen, and then he's a fucking standout number 1 wide receiver, And it's not like Kirk Cousins sucks, but it's just some guys have that trust in one another, and some guys just
I guess y'all have a higher opinion of Andy Dalton than I do. I think Andy Dalton was a useless signing here. I'm really glad he's gone. I think he showed no upside, period, whatsoever. I don't think he helped Bryce adapt to the NFL. I don't think he helped the coaching staff. I think it was all hype, all storyline, and I don't have a lot of love for Andy Dalton.
So then, do you think that Kenny Pickett will be a more dependable backup than Andy Dalton?
Yes, I do. I mean, to me, he can't be worse.
If you want to say that Dalton was over the hill, fine, but he did start like 11, 12 years for the Bengals.
Well, now, yeah, back in the day, I'm talking about recently. I'm not talking about. I think he was over the hill when he was brought.
Yeah. It's not hard to be better. It's not hard to be better than whatever Andy Dalton was last year. That was god awful.
I'll agree with Pickle, man. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be a better backup quarterback than Dalton
Right.
was the last 2 years. But I mean, my opinion of it was always that Dalton was literally Bryce's, training wheel. Now it's debatable how successful that was, but I honestly think he was literally just signed and kept here for the, Bryce's first 3 years to just help Bryce. He wasn't there to challenge him. He was there. I think they even sacrificed a viable backup to cater to Bryce's development. And what I mean by that is, I think they knew they could have gotten a better backup, but they chose Dalton to kind of keep that in Bryce's third year to keep developing him and kind of keep that that blankie for him, that little binky a little bit.
I'm going to agree with that. In reality, I think they could have done a better job bringing in somebody to challenge Bryce or whoever they drafted when they made that selection. But they knew going in, whoever they took was going to start day one, week one, without thought, and they really didn't care. They really, truly didn't. They really, truly never anticipated the need to start said backup quarterback. So they went with the guy that they thought could help Bryce in the film room more than on the field, and I'll believe that till I'm dead, probably. So,
Yeah. So look, let's move on to another thing that was revealed fairly recently. The Panthers have the third hardest schedule in all the NFL next year. Only the Dolphins and the Cardinals have a harder schedule. By the way, what shit luck for the Dolphins and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They were one of the worst teams last year. Going forward this year, everyone doesn't predict them to be good at all, and they have a murderer's row of a schedule. Now, all this changes because teams change from year to year. A team that was good last year isn't guaranteed to be good this year. But the Panthers, we're in for a tough ride. We have a very, very tough schedule. And I think it also goes back to that. This is a big time year for our players to step up and prove their worth and show what they're made of, because we are going to have a bunch of really tough opponents last year. What does it say to you guys that the Panthers have such a tough schedule? We're playing the AFC North and the NFC North.
Well, let's go over this briefly. I got into a big time argument on Twitter over this today because I don't believe in the strength of schedule. I think it's media hype, and I'll explain why. If you look, I looked it up. I was trying to find the link, but I last year we were 28th in strength of schedule. 28. So, now let's be real here. The Bengals were banged up, hurt a lot last year. You can make the excuse and say that their quarterback was hurt and all that. Had they truly, really got better? We don't know. We really don't know. We absolutely don't know if they've got better or worse. But yet, did they draft players? Yeah, everybody drafted players. They signed a few players in free agency. Yeah, everybody did. But that don't mean the Bengals are any better. The Ravens, everybody wants to hype the Ravens up. Y'all know they've got a brand new offensive coordinator who's never called plays in the NFL at all in his life. He's never called plays, period. Behind a defensive rookie head coach. How's that go for you? And for the first time in his career, Lamar Jackson's actually showing up for camps real early in voluntary workouts.
Yeah, good. I will say this though. You bring up the Bengals. Yeah. I still think that's going to be the biggest test of our offense.
Well, that's
just because when you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow, like, dude, that's a crazy trio. That's why I traded Kevin fucking 2 first-round picks in order to get Jamar Chase in our fantasy league. Like, these guys are worth it. And I do think that our defense this year, we have some fucking really hard tests coming up. I mean,
Right.
the Lions, they're still a juggernaut with the
No,
weapons
no,
that
they're
they
not.
have.
No, they're well.
I
They
don't
got
know.
weapons. They got weapons. But
I don't
what
see
was their
Lions on
problem
there.
last year? Their
Yeah,
last year
top five.
was their head
Very
coach
top
Oh yeah.
didn't
five.
trust his offensive coordinator. Why? Because he took the place from him middle of the year. Who's to say that's not going to happen this year? Who's to say? You know, I mean, I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just saying, let's put the analogy that has okay. People love to criticize. Panther fans love to look at their own team and criticize, right? Why not look at these teams and criticize them like you do yourself? The Falcons don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. I mean, really.
No, they
Traditionally,
know. No, they paid Tua. I don't
yeah,
think. I
well,
don't think
I tell you what, I
Michael
hope it's
Penix
Tua.
is not
I
going to be
really do
healthy
hope
in
it's
time
Tua. I tell you why I hope it's Tua.
because
Because
he
if I'm the
sucks. He's
Panthers,
overrated.
I'm going to blitz the hell out of him the first quarter. Because as soon as I rattle his ass, he's going to be rattled the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're gonna treat
You know, the Steelers,
they're gonna treat Tua
right,
Tagovailoa the way the Saints treated Bryce Young.
right.
They're
The
gonna blitz him
Steelers,
and they're gonna dare him to throw over the top,
right,
and there's not a whole lot of footage that he can do that
right.
consistently.
The Steelers, the Steelers, nobody's going to convince me. Let me tell you what. We drafted a defensive tackle in the first round. Uh, 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 Derek Brown is getting a shitload of money. Don't tell me we can't collapse that interior of that pocket. Because you collapse the interior of that pocket, Aaron Rodgers don't move. He ain't going to know where to go. And there's not a soul on earth going to convince
Is he
me.
coming
There's
back? He
not a
was
soul on
trending
earth
the other
or
day.
in heaven or hell that's going to convince me that I need to be scared of the flipping Browns.
Mm, I
I
don't know.
mean, I mean,
Miles,
This
there's
is
Miles Garrett.
no,
well,
no. Listen, let me tell you
no,
why. Let me tell you
maybe one
why.
person. Like I
No,
said, the
listen. This
Browns.
is why the Panther schedule is so hard. You have teams that were in the NFC and AFC championship game last year and the Super Bowl winner in the form
Right.
of the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos. You have the Chicago Bears, who also made a legitimate playoff push. They have a young, offensive minded head coach that they really like a ton, brought the Bears to new heights they haven't been to in a long time. You have the Ravens, who say what you want about them, they still have a good roster. They
Yeah.
still draft well. Lamar Jackson's still their quarterback.
Not
I
really.
bought
They really
I
don't
bought
draft
up
all that
I
well.
bought up the well, I mean a lot of the draft grades they received this year were really good. And they still have
Yeah.
a core. They still have a core that is considered to be very good. And again, they have Lamar Jackson. They have a two-time MVP on that team. You
Right.
can't tell me that the Ravens are flyweights. They also signed
I didn't say that.
what was old buddy that went from the Bengals? Trey Hendrickson. They signed Trey
Right.
Hendrickson. They have dudes.
Right.
So then you have the
Um.
Bengals. They went and got Dexter Lawrence. So their offensive interior is going to be a real test for the Panthers' offensive line. The Green Bay Packers also made it to the playoffs last year. Jordan Love
Mhm.
getting better every year. Micah Parsons on that team. We played the Browns. Now their quarterback situation is shit. We know this, but their defense led up the third fewest passing yards of any defense last year. So that they're going to be a tough out. Philadelphia Eagles, they reloaded. They made it to the playoffs. They're going to be a tough out. So there are a bunch of teams, and that's not even touching the division. So this is going to be a very tough roster, and it's going to be a really hard test of who we are as a football team. It's gut check time, boys. It's
Let's
time to
just
put up or shut up.
if we get, and I'm hypothetically saying, middle of the year, we have more wins than losses. I don't want to hear none of you sons of bitches. I don't hear nobody tell me, well, it's because we had a weak schedule. I don't want to hear that shit then. Because I'm going to flag this and remember this very conversation. Because I heard that for 2 freaking years how easy our schedule was. We have the worst, easiest schedule in the league. I keep hearing that. The strength of schedule last year, the Lions had the third hardest schedule. The Eagles had the fourth. The Cowboys had the fifth. Right? Nobody cried for them. But if you want to be that winning franchise, then you're going to learn to accept the fact that when you win the division, you're taking on harder people. That's called winning. That's not, if you want an easy schedule each year to keep on losing, then go join the Browns franchise, because the Jets maybe, because they're always going to suck. So the Jets have probably had one of the best free agents in the league, and you can look at their roster, not counting quarterback, and say, "Wow." But do you really truly think they're going to win a lot of games? I don't.
So
I can't
real quick. Ernie, I was not trying to convince you to be scared, bro. I was trying to say that if there was any year,
give him hell, Ernie. He deserves it.
If there was any year that this team was going to put expectations of what people believe the Panthers to be to bed, it's going to be this year, because outside of Panthers fans, no one believes in us. No one looks at this team and thinks that we're going to be a world beater team, even though we won the division last year. People think that the Saints and the Buccaneers are going to be better than us. So all I'm saying is this schedule represents a golden opportunity for us to go in there and prove some people wrong against some of the very best teams in the NFL this year. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I did want to get 2 cents in here.
Go ahead.
After all the decades I've watched football, man, I've learned that things change throughout the season. Things change in the preseason. People get hurt. Teams don't look like they're supposed to. The Ravens sucked last year. We would not have guessed that. There's other things too, but as far as this just stresses the importance, not that this is any different for any team or any year, but you can't start slow, and you have to take care of the teams you're supposed to beat, and you have to be competitive, especially within your division. So that should be what they're preaching in that building right now. And I wouldn't be scared about. We should be competitive with every team. That should be the goal.
Right. I agree. About starting slow. To me, that's a whole other conversation. Dave Canales, it's in his mind frame to start slow, because we're going to start slow. I have no doubt in my mind we'll be 0-3 or 0-2. I have zero doubt of that in my life.
I fucking hate that shit.
Well, we will be. Why?
I hate
because
that
Dave
shit.
Canales, I'll tell you why. Because Dave Canales does not believe that preseason matters. Just like other people don't believe preseason matters.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. There's no reason to not start slow.
Dude,
It's the only reason why we start
all right,
slow.
but hold up, Pego. Say the other reason that we start slow. Because our quarterback starts slow.
We're not.
He starts slow because the head coach has him start slow. Yes, you are wrong.
Come on.
All right, you will not convince me. Yeah, okay, you will not convince me. The only reason why we started slow is because of Bryce Young.
I'm not saying that's the only reason, Pickle.
You just did
I'm not saying that's the only reason. I'm saying, are you going to tell me that Bryce Young, at the start of every season that he has been a Panther, has been entirely underwhelming? Every season that he's been here. Dave Canales wasn't the head coach all the seasons that Bryce has been here. Bryce Young is a slow starter. It's not all on Canales.
They're both slow. I think they're both slow starters.
But okay, even if that's the case, even if you want to blame, even if you want to say Bryce, right, then don't give me the excuse that we can't run the football, but it's Bryce's fault. Bullshit. Don't give me the excuse our defense can't stop anybody because it's Bryce's fault. Well, that's the way it sounds.
No,
right? Our defense has been pathetic over the quarter because our defensive coordinator don't know what the flipping fucking doing.
All right, but then Dave Canales gave up the entire play calling of the defense to our defensive coordinator. So again, if you want to blame him for that, that's fine. But we are not going to pretend like Bryce as a quarterback isn't a slow starter. If you want to say that the Panthers are slow starters, that's fine. But Bryce Young absolutely plays a part in those slow starts. Now, maybe they both do, but I don't think that it's fair to just say the only reason the Panthers are slow starters is just because of Dave Canales.
I'll say that. I'll say that until the cows come home. I just will, because I don't. But I'm gonna be fair about it too. I never believed in Dave Canales. I've said it from day one, from before we hired that man. It's a mistake to hire an offensive coordinator because and then they turn around and hired one that had no experience being a head coach.
Yeah, who's already given up the play.
He had 1 year experience at play calling, and the entire team, the entire staff was green. There was a clusterfuck from the get-go. So I mean, and I believe that entirely. And I mean, if you want to say that Bryce has some responsibility, fine. He's a quarterback. He's supposed to have some responsibility. But I'm not going to let Dave Canales or as ball-headed dude on defensive coordinator Rivero off the hook with this at all. Dave Canales gave up offensive play calling this year because he knew he can't do the job.
Sure.
He was hired to do 2 jobs, and so far he can't do.
I am not absolving Dave Canales of his association in all of this. And I said last Tuesday, I've said before, I don't love that he's already given up play calling. Like, the literal reason that you are the play caller for the Panthers is that if you ever have a good offense, the guy calling your plays isn't out the door the very next season. Sean McVay is not giving up play calling for the Rams. Kyle Shanahan is not giving up play calling for the 49ers. There's a bunch of offensive coaches that are not giving up play calling, and yet Canales is. No, I don't like that.
Okay, so
well, that's
hold on. My final thing is that you cannot just give Bryce just some of the credit for slow starts when the amount of interceptions that he throws in season openers is between 2 and 3. He'll miss open wide receivers. It takes him about a half of a season to become the Bryce that we're looking for in a Panthers quarterback. And that's just based on the time that he has been here. That's just the truth.
It's not different from other quarterbacks in the same scenario just because.
What other quarterbacks?
I'm not. Open up and look. There's a shitload of quarterbacks that have failed. That have failed. No, let me say what you blaming Bryce for the slow starts is pretty what you just said. Is dissolving Canales of everything, because it's the head coach that puts him out on the field for preseason.
If Bryce throws an inaccurate pass, that's not on Canales. It's not on Canales. If Bryce throws an inaccurate pass, Pickle.
If the receiver runs the wrong right, it is. If the receiver can't run it right,
every route was the wrong
route. Running back, if the offensive line doesn't know the signals because they ain't practiced them enough, it is.
So every time Bryce missed, the receiver ran the wrong route?
I never said every time.
So, all right, so then if Bryce is missing passes, you can't just immediately take the blame for Bryce if he misses.
No, you can't, but you can't say every single preseason. Oh, and you can't say that every single opener we've lost is on Bryce because it fits the narrative that somebody wants to make.
I never said that it was all on Bryce.
You did too.
No, I didn't.
You just said that you can't blame Canales for every loss.
Right, you have to judge each one of them in isolation. You cannot blame one for all of it. You cannot blame Bryce for all of it. You cannot blame Canales for all of it. It's across the board.
Right, everyone has to be Canales is the head coach.
Everyone has to be responsible for a slow start. Everyone's responsible for that.
Bryce Young don't make the game plans. Bryce Young don't scout the play. Bryce Young don't scout the opposing defense and advise all the entire offense on how to
Yeah, but
handle
he
it.
does. No,
The
but that
offensive
is a part of
coordinator,
his job.
the offensive coordinator and head coach are supposed to scout and inform the players on what they need to do.
Yeah, but the
Now,
quarterback
if
also
they're not
goes over
doing that,
Pickle.
if
The
they're not
quarterback
doing that,
also goes over film and scouts the defense over the course of the week. It is their job to
right?
evaluate
So does the wide
where
receivers
the
and the
defenses are
tight
going to
ends.
be.
So does the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the entire staff.
Okay.
But again, it's the head coach's responsibility to have his team ready, and he can't do that. He won't do that. Dave Canales never has had his team ready until the middle of the late year.
Sure, but
That's
that doesn't mean that it's Dave Canales' fault.
Well,
when Bryce
defend Dave
starts slow.
Canales all you want to. I'm not going to. I think. Let me tell you what. And you know what? You mentioned the coaches the other day. Let's be real. Andy Reid has forgot more about offensive coordinating than David Canales will ever learn.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that he's still the coach.
Sean McVay,
But he's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. That's the coach this year.
Yeah,
He's
and
the
guess
coach of
what?
the Panthers.
David Canales should have never been hired as head coach / offensive coordinator. That was an incompetent decision by a jackass owner who did not know what the hell he was doing.
I can say the same thing about Bryce. I can say the same thing about Bryce.
Well, you have.
I can say the same thing about Bryce.
And you have. But
that's right.
I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and blame every single thing on Bryce and just act like the head coach is Mr. Let's not touch the guy when everybody in the world knows it's wrong. Bryce is not perfect. Bryce is not perfect by any means. I can see that and know that.
Franchise guy. It's the same way. I'm also not going to put everything on Canales and pretend like Bryce Young has just been some fantastic fucking quarterback.
No, you would be ignorant to do that. We're not going to sit here and act like every mistake this team has ever had on offense since he's been here is all on Bryce Young. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
We'll have plenty of time to continue to argue about this. Let me welcome in Anthony back on the free for all. Anthony, what's up, dude?
What's up?
What's good, buddy?
How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Dude, you're muted, bro. Hold up. Let me welcome in Chooks. Back on the free for all, Chooks. What up, dude?
My bad. You hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. Go ahead, man. Jump in on this conversation, bro. I mean, we were talking about the Panthers schedule, having the third hardest schedule this year, and how this is going to be an incredible opportunity for everyone to prove people wrong. For Canales to prove Pickle wrong, and for Bryce to prove me wrong. Everyone's got to put up or shut up this year. I'm tired of hearing the fucking excuses for everyone. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a prove it year for everyone. I'd exclude the front office. I like the front office. But I agree. I mean, I think there's parts of this where you got to look at it like Canales is now dependent on the success of the team. Because he doesn't have a role in the offense anymore. I mean, he'll probably be in doing the game plans and stuff. Bryce, man, listen, I like Bryce. I just want our team to be more consistent. The schedule to me is a little. I don't know how these opponents are going to be yet. Like, I know it's hard on paper. We've also had easy schedules on paper and just shit down our legs before. But I mean, if you remember last year, we played well versus the tough competition. Our issue was we couldn't win the easy games. So for me, I think we got to take care of the division games this year, and then the rest of it will play out ultimately. Because like, you know, I brought this up, like, you look at like Atlanta and Tampa Bay's schedule, like they still got to play the same divisions. Atlanta Atlanta's playing the Chiefs instead of the Broncos. Like, we're playing the Broncos. It's like, well, would we really have an advantage if Patrick Mahomes came to town this year again? Like, no. It's like, you know, it's kind of like you play who you play. The Broncos won the division, so we play them.
Yeah.
And like the Bucks play the Chargers. So it's like that's going to be a hard matchup out of any of those three teams. So, but I like us. I mean, I think we have the best roster by far. I think Bryce Young is honestly, I think he's going to claim the title of the best quarterback in the division after this year. I really do. I really do. Canales is who I question, but I don't know. I've been kind of thinking to myself, like, I kind of like that Brad took over, because I just have some weird feeling Brad is gonna like actually let. Well, I said this last week. I think the offensive line, the draft picks of Monroe and Sam were and Rasheed Walker signing him were telling me I think we're going to throw the ball this year more. So I think we're going to have a more consistent offense is what we need. But overall, like I agree, it's a prove it year. I'd be shocked if we regress though. I really would. I mean, I just think the roster got a lot better. Like you're starting to see we actually have depth now. The trenches look good on both sides. Jonathan Brooks is coming back.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of positives. But to me, I don't know. Like last year they said we had an easy schedule. But man, I felt like we had some really tough games back to back to back. Like, so you really don't know, like, until you get into the season. I'm not that worried though. But
no, I mean, look, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. The entire division, and a little bit, I'm going to ask everyone in the division, who is our toughest opponent? Like, who is the biggest threat to steal the NFC South away from us? But
I still think it's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say I still think it's the Buccaneers. I'm not really buying the Saints hype. Like, I get they made some good additions. But to me, I watched Tyler Shuck last year, and Tyler Shuck to me looked like a quarterback that was leeching off terrible defenses. He was playing a bunch of teams that weren't in it at the end. And I mean, he played us and he played solid, but I still think the Bucs are, just because us and the Bucs are the only ones that have won the division in the 2020s. So, I think it's going to be the Bucs for sure.
Yeah. Hey man, let me welcome back in Chooks to the Friday Free for All. Chooks, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here. Happy Friday. How's it going?
Happy Friday. What's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Like you said, like for real, man. This is the year. Like Pickle, I support 100% what Pickle was saying. Look, man, it's on Dave Canales too. You don't think that he was stripped from play calling? You don't think Dave and Brad Isaac and even Tepper had a meeting about the play calling and the conservatism? Bro, we need to find out if we're going to pay this man $50 million a year. Egos aside, bro.
Yeah.
Look, we have been talking for years. You like Bryce or not, or top quarterback or not. We need to find out. This is the year, Cody. This is the year, Pickle. We need to find out. We need to unleash this offense. If he's not the guy, go, move on. But the discussion of do this, that, and third, this ain't it. This is the year. This has to be it. We have to find out and let it all blaze out. So egos don't have to be.
Two things. Two things. One, if you're talking about who or why did Dave Canales give up play calling, to me it's just conjecture to say, oh, it could have came from David Tepper to make him give up play calling. Like, none of us know that, so that's just speculation.
That's true.
And they say it's his decision, but I'm inclined to believe that as well. Like, sorry to interrupt.
But I think that David Tepper made him give it up, or that Dave.
I think it's best.
I think it could be the front office
for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think that's
the
better
best for the
term.
Panthers.
I think the front office did it.
Well, yeah, I think it's for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think they helped him to make that decision.
So then they're saying that they don't trust the head coach that they hired to call plays anymore at his own discretion, that they made him give up play calling for the Panthers. That's a tough pill for me to swallow.
But Cody,
excuse me, that's not it. It is best for the organization above everything else, above Dave, above Dan, even above Tepper, is for the Carolina Panthers to decide who is the quarterback. If this guy is $50 million, is before the Carolina Panthers organization. No, need to figure it out that way. If the new play caller is going to unleash the Bryce's strength, so be it. So be it. But we need to find out. We cannot be playing this game of this and that and this and that and the third. It's for the best of the Carolina Panthers.
Sure. The last thing, and then I'll let y'all go. Christian hadn't jumped in a while. The last thing I was saying in my back and forth with Pickle is that I am not saying that Dave Canales does not deserve blame for a slow start. He's the fucking head coach. Of course he does. But you're also not going to take away blame from your literal franchise quarterback that has been starting for 3 or 4. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm clarifying my stance so that way everyone knows what I'm saying. If the Carolina Panthers are slow starters on offense, there is more than enough blame to go around to everyone, including our wide receivers. And yes, whoever is calling plays for the Carolina Panthers. That's all I was saying. That's it. I think Christian wanted to say something.
Oh no, man. I think the only thing I was going to say was when you were talking about being worried about an offensive coordinator who's calling plays then getting poached or fired. Yeah. I wouldn't be that worried about it because it's the scheme, and Dave Canales can still tell Idzik what plays to call if he wants. I'm not going to get into the speculation of who decided that call or not. I'm going to say that I don't have any reason to have faith in Brad Idzik right now. I don't have any reason not to have faith in him. I want to wait and see what he can do. I do think that it's probably a positive overall, so that Dave Canales can kind of be less, weighed down by tasks in play calling. So hopefully it's a good thing. But I've always been very vocal. I'm worried about the entire offense, to be honest, because there's questions at receiver. There's still questions at quarterback. The offensive line, I think, is probably the strength of that team. There's questions at running back because Chuba Hubbard, to me, is a number 2. Brooks might get injured, and tight ends can't seem to block enough for a running game and can't get fucking open in a passing game. So
I said this the other day. And someone agreed with this. The 2026 season of the Carolina Panthers is based on 4 players. It's based on the 2024 draft class. XL, Jonathan Brooks, JT Sanders, and Chad Wade Smith. If they perform, we are 11th-win football team. If they all perform, we're 11th. If they do not perform, we're not going to the playoffs.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I think Charles Smith-Wade doesn't make the 53-man roster.
Yeah, some of these. Okay,
He's not
he
that
has a lot
good.
of competition.
He would have if Corey Thornton would have stayed healthy, Charles Smith-Wade would have been benched earlier in the season.
I mean, Charles Smith-Wade now versus Will Lee III and Corey Thornton. That's
Charles Smith-Wade is not that good.
And by the way, if Charles Smith-Wade is the best of the bunch, then let him play. I just don't think he is.
You think Will Lee, a rookie man corner who plays man 80% of the time, is going to learn EE system, a zone system, and pick it up and steal it from a veteran? Are you kidding me?
I don't think Charles Smith-Wade has proven himself to be that great that he is just a lock to win the nickel corner position.
I was just gonna say, I agree, Chooks. They need to have an impact. I'd really say I'm expecting 2 of them to have an impact. I think Brooks is gonna have an impact, and I think Trevin Wallace is gonna. I think. Even though I'm not a fan of him, I think he will be better just because of the floor Devin Lloyd raises. But as for Excel and as for Charles Smith-Wade is terrible. I'm just going to tell you right now. Corey Thornton, Will Lee, I think they're just going to outplay him. Excel, I have no expectations. I know He did some drills again today. I'm not buying it at all. I'm not buying
XL
it yet.
Anthony XL completely ruined our draft plans. If he
Uh,
was
Well, he
decent,
did, yes.
if he was decent, we will get a
But can I?
linebacker.
One more
Yeah,
point I wanted to make
let
real
Anthony
quick.
finish.
Real quick. Like back to Cody's point, and I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. With Canales like calling plays, like I get it. Like you're in the mindset of now, like, oh well, why did we hire him at this point? My thing would be, well, I just don't think he's been good as a play caller. And in such a critical year, I don't think it's smart to go forward with him being the play caller again, risking all those games where, like, there's a graphic. We won we lost 4 games last year where our defense held the opponent to 21 or less points. Like, games like that where your play calling's off and Bryce isn't throwing the ball. Like, we can't have games like that in a season like this. So for me, it's just like, I don't know if it would be smart to just have him call plays again, even though the track record's shown he just hasn't been a good play caller. Bryce or not, like the Bills game I went to last year, it was terrible. The Andy Dalton games,
Oh yeah.
most of them weren't good. So I'm just saying, like, I get your concern, but I think there's too much of a risk factor having him be the play caller again. When there's also things like that he openly admitted, like that he wasn't able to challenge plays and like see first down markers and all this other shit because he was so focused on the next play and the next play. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, if all of that is true, it just doesn't make me feel better about Canales as a head coach if he cannot call plays because so many other offensive minded head coaches are still calling plays. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, and I agree. And I said this to many people and online, like, and this is just a reality. Like, Canales is probably going down the Nick Sirianni coach arc at this point, and we're just gonna have to live with it. It just is what it
That's
is.
a good analogy. That's a great analogy.
I'll just say, my opinion, reality is Dave Canales. I have nothing against the man. I really hope he works out. I just don't think that he was ready to be a head coach / offensive coordinator when he was hired. He just wasn't ready for it. And what does that put the blame off on Tepper? Well, why not? He's owner. So I mean, we blame him.
That was a great analogy. Dan and Dave are not tied to the hip. Dan or Dave are not tied to the hip.
Well, Dan, I fuck with Dan. Like, and I didn't want him as a GM, but this dude's, the drafting, the free agent signings, like, you can show his moves and his, like, worth is, like, showing. For Dave, like, I don't know. That's why I brought up Sirianni, because it's like when Sirianni makes the right offensive hire, all the talent on the field is shown. But when he doesn't, then we have situations where AJ Brown's about to get traded and they have to draft more receivers, and Jalen Hurts looks like he can't throw a football, So it's like, I don't know. I just I trust the front office, and that's So
if that is the go ahead, Bill.
There was a lot of plays last year, a lot of times when Dave was busy doing something else and he was late getting the play calling out, which made him take a false start. He owned up to many of those. And I think a lot of that has to be included, not just play calling. There were times he was busy doing a head coach. He couldn't. Now Andy's has a different read to this. Andy has people assigned to handle different things so he can call plays and get the next play out. Andy's been doing this for many years. Sean McVay's the same way. Some of these guys were offensive coordinators before then, but I understand why they did it. I actually thought, I'm not necessarily happy that they gave it to Brad, but I understand that they gave it to Brad. He is technically the offensive coordinator. So.
I think also too, part of the bad play calling was just general bad scheme at times.
I agree with that.
I think whoever was creating these horrible, passing route schemes, like how many times did we see two receivers in the same, 5-yard area. It just,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I don't know who the guy they brought in to help the offense. I can't remember his name, but hopefully he can help too.
Or Christian, do you remember the plays where we'd run 4 slants on like a 3rd and 12? Like shit like that didn't make sense to me. Or like the runs on 3rd down, and then you don't go for it. I don't know.
That's what Madden recommends for you to do when you're 4th and 13 or something. They recommend you do a slant play. That's true.
Hey, listen, we're getting ready to talk about a minute ago, Chooks, he mentioned this 2024 draft class, and we were talking about that earlier, so I think we should talk about it again. But bro, let me welcome my boy Jake the Snake back on the free for all. Jake, what's up, brother? Rocking that fresh new haircut. What's up,
Hell
dog?
yeah, man! It's been a minute, bro. I'm happy to be back on here, Cody. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Happy to have you back on here, bro.
Heck yeah.
Hey, man, you're just in time, dude. We're talking about the running back position. The Panthers signed A.J. Dillon in the offseason, but we also let go of Rico Dowdle. We also have another running back coming back to health in the form of Jonathan Brooks. What do you expect of Jonathan Brooks this year? And between him and A.J. Dillon, who is set to make a bigger impact on the Panthers in 2026?
I think the training wheels are going to come off the Jonathan Brooks. I think he's fully healthy now after, back-to-back ACL tears that he had, the same ACL. But, yeah, I think, he's a Dan Morgan draft pick. I mean, he's his first draft, second-round pick. I mean, they're going to give him ample opportunity to be out there on the field with Chuba Hubbard. AJ Dillon was the other guy. Okay, AJ Dillon. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to rotate him in there too. I mean, it's going to be a battle between him and ETN. I think at the third running back slot. Really, I think it's going to be Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard as the 1A, 1B, so to speak. I don't know how they're going to do it. They might even do a rotation of backs like we did last year. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I didn't like it at certain times, but they might do the same thing with Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard like they did with Chuba Hubbard and Dowdle, yep.
Yo, White Chocolate says AJ could be cut before the season starts.
No,
no. That's you know what? That's just because we didn't sign that useless South Carolina player he wanted to sign.
Jadeveon.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you what,
He keeps pushing this shit with Jadeveon.
I tell you what I think, and I said it the other day on my podcast. I think there is a reality, and it's going to make some folks mad, so prepare yourself, that Trevor E.T. could be released at the final roster test. I believe.
Yeah, I think we have more. I think when you sign A.J. Dillon, we probably have more allegiance to him than we do Trevor.
Right. The only thing keeping. I mean, listen, Trevor E.T. should have made the most of his touches on special teams, and he fumbled them. So, if they find somebody to out-muscle the opposing defensive lineman and get extra yards downfield, they're going to. They're not keeping Trevor E.T. just for kicks and giggles.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, Jonathan Brooks, we need a big-time year from him. Either that or Chuba needs to return to the Chuba of old. I kind of defended Chuba. Because I said that
quite a bit last year.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like he was hurt a lot last year, and I don't think that it's fair just to say, "Oh well, Rico Dowdle was just a better running back," and maybe he is. But Chuba Hubbard is also a 1,000-yard back, and I think that he just needs to be healthy in order for all of this to actually kind of gel with him.
Jonathan's been. Go ahead, Pickle.
Oh no, I was getting ready. I think to say exactly what you. Jonathan's been working out well. I would like to see Jonathan Stewart. Listen, it would be wonderful if Jonathan Stewart and Chuba Hubbard ran the hell out over everybody. I mean, I would enjoy seeing that myself.
We have Jay Stu back. You mean Brooks?
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks.
Jonathan Brooks. Close enough. Both named Jonathan.
Yeah.
Listen, out of fairness,
hell, put Jay Stu out there. I'd see him run too. Fuck it.
Probably could still play.
We
He
got to
could
figure
probably
out
do.
too who's going to be able to punt return for us because our biggest punt return last year
Hey,
was only
Jay Stu can
16
punt return.
yards.
Jay
16
can do.
yards
Yeah,
was our
Jay
biggest
Stu
punt
couldn't be
return.
worse than what we had last year.
God damn it, Cody! Why are we even wasting our time with this shit?
I'm
We
just
had
I'm being fair to my boy Kev.
So that
There's
Kevin can hear from
there's
us
a
all
What's up,
how
I
man?
know
ridiculous this
there's
is.
a Panthers Wire article that says Jadeveon Clowney could come back to the Panthers.
It was SI,
but
wasn't it? Sports
we
Illustrated.
have
Panthers Wire, I guess so. One of these.
we have a
Panthers Wire.
4-man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Panthers Wire is the toilet version of the house. It's a room you never go into unless you really have to get sick.
Oh, shit.
Because it really
Pickle's
is.
opinion,
Panther
not mine, by
Wire.
the way.
Panther Wire has put up more bullshit articles, just a second article. Now, if you really want to track this article down, you can probably find a site somewhere where some reporter of some lame site had to make sure he makes his $5 that week and put out a stupid article. Right along with that article that says the Panthers are trading for tight end Clay Commit. No, they're not. One idiot reporter said this is what could happen, and he named 3 other teams.
By the way, Pickle, hold on, Pickle. This is not even Panthers Wire. It's Pro Football Focus.
Well, that's even worse.
So you gave all that shit to
yeah,
Panthers Wire.
yeah,
Pro Football Focus all the time.
Well,
But hold on.
it says Panther Wire at top.
I know. But to continue with the
Okay,
running
there
back thing, White Chocolate says AJ has 60 yards in 2 years. So that's not necessarily.
That ain't good. But if you look at it,
how much yards does Trevor Etienne have in 2 years?
He got like 90 last year, I think. Something like that.
Well, how many fumbles does he have?
I know if you look at AJ's production when he was with Green Bay, though.
I mean,
How about this? Only one that mattered, and then the fucking.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm worried about this RB room though. Like, I need Brooks to do good because.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So no, I mean, I've been watching Jonathan Brooks's like TikTok streams. He's been playing Warzone every day, so I hope he's locked in for the season. Chu was cool, but like Jake said, we had no explosion in the run game outside of those Rico Daddle games. Like, our punt returns we couldn't get a big punter kick return. And then Chuba's longest run was 15 yards last year, I think. So we need some explosion this year. And I know he was hurt, but yeah, we need a consistent run game this year. I think the offensive line will be a lot better. I think the offensive line has a ton of depth. I don't think the offensive line, we're going to have games where Chandler Zavala is going to have to spot start for us anymore.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask this again. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but now that we got Jake and Anthony on here, I want to sort of revisit this. What are the chances that Chris Brazzell pushes Xavier Legette for the number 3 wide receiver on this roster? Chris Brazzell has looked great. They were doing some offseason stuff today.
That is a lie.
He's out here with making hands catches, running, tall, fast. I mean, the dude, he was he was a 3rd-round draft pick. Not as high as Xavier Legette, but this dude has a ton of upside. What are the chances? Great catch, by the way. What are the chances that he can actually push Xavier Legette for a roster spot?
You want to go first, Ant?
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a good chance. Honestly, we'll see. I mean, I'd imagine they're going to give Legette his shot in the beginning of the year. Or they may just have a camp battle. I think there's a good chance, though. I mean, I like what I've seen in the clip so far. He seems like, he's a lot more pro-ready than Excel was when he was coming out. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting because someone in the receiver room is not going to be happy by the time week 1 rolls around. But, I mean, G-Baby's in the chat saying extra lotion will never see the field again. You're inclined to believe that, bro. I mean, honestly, if it was up to me, like, I wouldn't have it that way. But I don't know, man. There's a part of me that still thinks he's going to Gan's still going to give him an opportunity at the end of the day. So I don't know. I'm not sure. What do
Jake, go
you
ahead,
think,
man.
Jake?
Y'all are talking about XL. I'm gonna go above that, and I know G Baby ain't gonna like this, but I think he's gonna bring competition in for Jalen Coker.
Woohoo!
You're talking about a guy who has had back-to-back seasons where he missed 6 games. Did he have an unbelievable playoff game against the Rams? Yeah, absolutely he did, and I give him all the credit for that. But this guy's gonna have to come in healthy and be on his toes too, and be fully healthy for the whole season. That whole wide receiver room outside of Nalo, it really is gonna have competition. Truly, it really
Yeah.
is.
No, you're not wrong.
Uh,
You're not
Like
wrong.
I was saying, I agree with Jake.
I will say I will be a little disappointed if Canales chooses a veteran guy like David Moore over a guy like Jimmy Horn. I will be a
I
little
agree with you.
disappointed just because we already have guys, like David Moore in the room. And I still kind of want to see if Jimmy can bring some speed element to this room as well.
How many receivers did we carry into the 53 last year? Was it 5 or 6?
Six.
So
It was
no,
six.
six.
Mm-hmm.
But he cut a few of them. He cut a few of them. One of them was Coker. And
Do
then
we
he
still have Bryson Tremaine
Coker.
on the roster?
We do.
We
Yeah,
do.
we do.
Hmm.
But Cody. That's an interesting conversation. Oh, by the way, I got AJ Dillon's stats pulled up. AJ Dillon broke his neck in 2024 and was out for the whole year. So
Is this it?
No,
Yeah, okay.
hang on, man. I might have.
Right.
Hang on.
Yeah,
I
talk
might have
about
got
it.
the wrong one. Anyway, but AJ Dillon broke his neck in 2024 and was out for the year. That happened to be his last of his rookie contract. So of course the Packers weren't going to sign him. So they let him walk into free agency. He signed with the Eagles, but he was buried in the depth chart on the Eagles. But even he did have played in 7 games for 12 carries for the Eagles and got 60 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry. So, I mean, to me, we're not going to use him as your primary running back. He is going to be that third down, fourth down running back. That's going to get those short yard carries. If you look at his tape when he's worked out, he really truly is. There you go. I've got here's the correct ones up here now. But I mean, it's not. If you look at that, if you can see him, I can try to blow him up. With Green Bay, he really didn't have that bad of a stats, actually.
No.
I mean,
And I don't think that was him as a full-time starter either with those stats.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they did
never,
a 2-3 back system as well with Green Bay.
Yeah, he was never a full-time starter. They used him as a short yardage back, and then a lot of fullback situations in Green Bay. He could almost be he could almost be your Mike Tolbert style fullback. But
No, I mean, it'll be interesting if they use him as a fullback. That would be fun. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but again, like, that's a part of the running back room. So you're still having to cut one spot in favor of another one.
Yeah, if I did my 53, I always do, and one thing that I made a reference to is I found it real hard figuring out whether I was going to keep 4 tight ends or 4 running backs or 9 offensive linemen. It was real hard for me to figure that part out.
How about this?
I ended up keeping 3 tight ends simply because of the 4th tight end, James Mitchell. We often inactivated him anyway. So
let's do this curveball. Who's starting left tackle day one? Our number 19 overall pick, Monroe Freeling, or Rasheed Walker, who we brought in via free agency? Who's going to be starting left tackle for the Panthers?
I still think it's going to be Walker. Truthfully, I mean, going by this coaching staff and what they like to do, they do like going with the veteran guy. I mean, we all agree that in our opinions that K Mays beat out Austin Corbett last year. during training camp, and what happened? Austin Court was a starter. K. Mays was not. So I mean, I fully expect to see the same thing here, unless Walker looks bad. And I mean, from all the film I've seen when he was with Green Bay, he's not a bad left tackle. He's a really good pass protector, and I mean, I would still lean that way, especially when this is Bryce Young's biggest year. I love Monroe Freeland. You're going to see. It's not like you're not going to see that guy out there. You're going to see him a lot,
Yeah.
especially in goal line packages. I mean, we always bring out an extra offensive lineman out there and a tight end, and I believe that man is going to be the very first guy off the bench when it comes to offensive linemen.
Okay.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I'm explaining why. I think they're going to find themselves forced to start a rookie on the offensive line, but it's not going to be tackle. I think they're going to start, and I think Canales and Brad Isaac they aren't going to want to start two rookies on the offensive line. So that's why they're going to start Heck at center, and they're not going to want to start two rookies at the offensive line. But I believe before the end of the season, you're going to see Freely as a starting left tackle, unless there's a major injury, which alternates all this. So
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Monroe Freeland can start. Just like Kevin thinks that AJ. I mean, I don't think that Rasheed Walker will be cut like Kevin does with AJ Dillon, but I don't think that Monroe Freeland is just destined to be a backup just because we signed Walker. Now, it gives you the luxury of not having to start Freeland because you signed Walker, but I don't know, man. A first-round pick, number 19 overall, long arms, big, tall, strong. Look out for the channel this week. Me and Tony, we're gonna be putting out some dedicated videos on all the draft picks, and we're really gonna delve into what makes Monroe special. I feel like he can start. I really do.
I
really do.
Like I said, I don't think he starts strictly because they'll not want to start two rookies on the line. With Walker does have experience, and Freely really don't have that many starts himself, but he's super talented. And if they decided to start two rookies, though, I absolutely wouldn't be scared of it.
Not only that, you want to make sure that he's ready to be out there. Truly ready to be out there.
Exactly.
I mean, I know you're going to have to throw him out there eventually, but you don't want to ruin a tackle's confidence, man. That's the worst thing you can do is have your first round tackle out there and he's just getting beat and his confidence goes down the drain. That's the worst thing that can happen to an offensive lineman.
Remember, we did do that with Icky. Icky played the first season out left tackle, and I'm just being real. I think Freeland is a better prospect than Icky was, and I know Icky was a higher pick, but I just think that he's a better player. I think he has a higher upside.
Man, this is a tough one, bro. It's like 50-50 for me. I can see both arguments. And I think that's a good problem to have. And I think that as fans, should we not see the 19th overall pick out there on day one, we shouldn't be upset about it. We should see it as a good problem to have if Walker beats him out. But also if Freeling wins the job, I don't think it's a negative against Walker either. So yeah, dude, it's tough. I know that this coaching staff, the everything, and I think there's some here that would agree. The history is they try to wait to put the rookies out there on the field, but they do side with veterans out there, especially on week one. But also, Walker, if they feel so comfortable with Freeling that and then Moten, is Walker a potential cap casualty? I don't know. I would like to keep him, but sometimes I just don't know what this front office is going to do when it comes to cap situations.
Yeah. Dude, it's up in the air. I hope that there was a legitimate battle.
Let me ask you a question I heard them talk about on XM Radio. I'm going to tell you the truth of it. Former Panthers offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz was talking to this other guy by the name of Marty Herney, and they were having this conversation. about the Panthers left tackle situation. And they were saying that you never know when, if really actually wins the battle, Walker may decide that he's too good to be a backup or a swing tackle. So he may force the front office to trade him.
Yeah.
That is a scenario that most Panther fans haven't discussed. So and I don't know much about Walker, to be bluntly honest, other than I used him a lot on Madden. But
So here's what I would say. Why don't you wait until some team loses their tackle to injury closer to the trade deadline and get more out of him? That would be my.
Yeah, but I do agree to that. But I was kind of hoping, I'm not going to lie, I was hoping we would do that to Icky. I was hoping at some point before the trade deadline, Icky's healthy enough to pull off PUP and actually run him at a few different spots on the offensive line just to promote his trading issues. Because, I mean, he's making $17 million this year anyway. And I personally have no interest in bringing him back on the roster at any remotely situation. So, but to me, if I could get something out of him, it's better than getting nothing.
I do like the idea, though, that no matter who wins, we have a serviceable backup that, for all intents and purposes, should be able to walk right in if the other one struggles. I do like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did Cody freeze up? I think he froze up. So what's next, Pickle?
Just hang on just a second. I'm giving Kevin hell in the chat. All right. Okay. While Cody gets done unfreezing. Hell no. We can't handle one Cody.
Multiplying over here, man.
This is the Matrix.
What's worse? What's worse than one Cody?
Yeah. I can barely handle one Cody.
Hey,
now I can't put up two.
Bro,
he took the red pill and the blue pill.
Bro, the other day I had 3 toes on my pod. I said, no, we can't do this either.
Bro, StreamYard's tripping. I was literally trying to share something, and then it fucking freaked out. What? That was weird. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Good night. StreamYard's trying to be the death of your boy, huh? Were y'all seeing 2 of me?
Yeah.
Oh, you had the one image frozen there, and then this one popped up.
All right, I'm going to try this one more time. If it freaks out again, don't panic. I will be back. I promise. Okay.
I think you just got taken over by an alien.
Okay, does this work? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. Good night. So, Pro Bowl player Kenny Moore, corner for the Colts, was released. And now he is looking for viable options. Could Kenny Moore be on the docket for the Carolina Panthers? I saw a bunch of people talking about this. I don't necessarily know what the cap situation is, but do you think that we are a potential landing spot for Kenny Moore?
No,
question.
I do not.
Before I answer, here's a question. Does he have a history with Xavier Legette?
No.
No.
Then the answer is no.
He spent his entire career with the Colts.
With the Colts, yeah.
He's a great player, but let's be real. He's not coming here for vet minimum. He's not coming here to be a nickel corner. And if you bring him in here, you're going to tell Will Lee that he just has to go sit in a corner and wait for a couple years. I mean, you're going to tell Thornton he was young and upcoming, but screw him. Just sit over here in the corner until we call you. I mean, is that how you're going to develop your corners? Really? I mean, then we freed up $16 million to redoing Horn's cap, so we can pay our rookies and have a little bit emergency fund going into the season. I don't think they're reaching out to sign a free agent and ended up trying to figure out how to create more cap to afford that guy and any other emergencies they have, where they don't even really need the guy to start with. And if they do bring him in here, it's just going to be for a 1-year deal. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's as it normally is with the Carolina Panther fans. It's somebody's released. Oh my God, we gotta spend everything in the world to go get him. Somebody gets on a trading pot. Give 5 first-round picks for that man. He's gonna be a superstar. I don't care if he's 35 years old. Let's go and get him.
Whoa, Pickle, not 5, 3. Okay, don't get crazy with this shit.
Okay. 3 first rounds and 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's more palatable.
Panther fans don't always think with their intelligence.
Does he play just corner or does he play safety as well? Like, what position does he truly play?
He's just a corner.
I like Corey. I just got done talking about him. I like Corey Thornton, man. I thought he really started playing really well prior to his injury last year. And we just, like what Pickle just said, we just drafted another corner too. I mean, it sounds nice, but I really like our cornerback room now. I mean, it's crazy. You go from a couple of years ago, we really, really needed some cornerback help to now. I mean, I'm starting to really like that cornerback room.
I would say if they're going to have money, if they want, for some reason, if they want to spend money, I would rather put it into the tight end Njoku. Not that that's going to happen, but I agree with Jay. I like our corner room too.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Kenny Moore. I'm sure he's a great player. I haven't even looked up the reasons entirely. He asked to be cut. He asked to be released, and they granted it. So, I just think right now, right now at this current time, I just don't see that you spend that kind of cap just for the heck of it. I mean, I don't think that's legit. Now, if you want to bring him in and trade Mike Jack, then okay, I can see that need. But
yeah, who do y'all think has a better chance of being a contributor this year? Will Lee III or Corey Thornton? Because remember, let's not disrespect Corey Thornton. There were times last year when Corey Thornton looked like he could be a meaningful contributor to this team. Well, Thornton looked good. It was long, he's tall, he's fast. I like what he brings to the position. In that Browns preseason game, I remember he body slammed that one dude, so that was pretty cool.
Well, wasn't he the starting nickel week 1?
Yeah, and I don't think that's his full-time position, but I do think they like him enough to put him there. Yeah.
Well, Kenny Moore only played in 14 games last year and 15 the year before that. So he's 30 years old. He'll be 31 before the start of the season. I mean, he's from Georgia originally, so but
we got to realize too, we got so much money invested in this defense now with our free agent signing with Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd, and you got to think J.C. Horn's top 5 cornerback pay up there anyways. Derek Brown. I mean, we got so much money on this defense, just like we do this offensive line. I mean, and then you got guys that's up and coming.
Oh no,
good payday.
Jake, y'all, they're nowhere near going after him. He ain't tall enough for them.
He's on 6
foot. He's 5'9". 190 pounds. They don't like short corners. They barely tolerate
Smith Wade type.
Yeah,
if you're a nickel corner, that's kind of the ballpark.
Right.
I mean, it's still pretty damn short, but
I don't want him covering
like
a Travis Kelce type tight end.
I mean, remember he was I hear that. I mean, he was a Pro Bowl type player. How about this? Right. Let's put Isaiah Simmons at nickel. Now we're talking. Let's man him up against some tight ends. I watch him do some work.
Isaiah Simmons is going to be a future starting safety for us.
Oh
shit!
It's a hot take.
Now you got my attention.
Dude, I would just put him at inside backer and say, dude, this is make it your job.
Too.
Yeah, everybody. But that's the problem, Christensen. I dug a little bit. That's what the Cardinals did. Only they said we're putting you at inside backer, but we're going to also let you play safety. So they told him he had to learn two different positions at the
Right.
same time.
Well,
He got cut. He went to the Giants. They did the same thing. He came here and they said, we want to leave you at one position. Which one do you want? And he said safety. That's what he played in college, so they put him at safety.
oh, I thought
That's
he
what I
said.
say.
I thought he said backer.
No, he
Inside
said
backer.
safety.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
he said that everybody's always put him at backer, and that's what he thought he would be when he came into the NFL. They thought they would do the Thomas Davis gig, put him at linebacker, but he played safety in college and he liked it, so they put him at safety. And that's me. I personally, I kind of need him at inside linebacker more than safety right now, but in Ivero's system, with the way Ivero likes to use his strong safeties, they are almost linebackers anyway. So,
But I mean, if you
But-
got the big nickel in there, I mean, if he can settle in there, that'd be nice.
right.
Well, by the way, that's pretty much what they did with him at Clemson. Like they moved him around, but they would put him at nickel, and they would let him sort of do everything at that position. But he did say that he liked that the Panthers used him at safety. So if that's where he feels more comfortable, shit, I'm down with it. Hey, let me welcome in my guy from the West Coast on the left coast, Alex, 814 Panthers, back on the free for all. Alex, what's up, dude?
Hey, Cody, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Happy Friday.
What's up, Alex?
Nice seeing you guys again.
Happy
Friday, man. How you doing, dude?
Doing all right. It's been a long week. Excited to talk about Panther football with you guys. And it's just exciting to be back. And I'm happy you're back, Cody. This is always great on Friday.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be back. Panther Nation needed the free for all, so here I am, bro. Let me ask you this.
Shut
up, Pickle. Any of the things that we've talked about, you can kind of jump in on any of it. We were talking about, who would make a bigger impact, Will Lee or Corey Thornton. But we've also talked about, will Chris Brazzell push Xavier Legette for a wide receiver spot? Who's going to start at left tackle? Monroe Freeling or Rasheed Walker? Any of those ones you want to jump in on, man? Now's your time, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as the XL Brazzell thing, I think obviously, I think in the NFL it depends on where you get drafted and things of that sort. Just because that's when who's gonna get more of the opportunity. I would say I know XL's been in the league for a couple of years. It hasn't been what we've wanted out of a first round wide receiver, so I get that. But at the same time, he's going to get his opportunities just because of the position that he got picked. I mean, honestly, you got Brazzell in the third round. We'll see. He's going to get opportunity as well. He's going to get run. I think they're both going to make the roster when it comes down to it. But yeah, for that's what I think for wide receivers go. And then I think, before Thornton's injury, he stood out. Thornton,
he was balling.
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of question marks from the injury itself. Let's see how he comes back and all of that stuff. And just because it's one of those things that you guys watch a lot more college football than I do as far as some of these guys. Obviously you hope that all of them pan out, but as a realist and stuff, when it comes to drafting, you just hope that you could bank on about 3 of them, about 3 or 4, hopefully. But it's other than that, if all 6, or 7 or however many we drafted came out, by all means, that's great. But you're just hoping that like last year where you had a guy like T-Mac obviously showed out, rookie of the year. You had some flashes with Ransom, a guy like that came out. He was somebody that had some flashes. And then Cam Jackson didn't really play much. You know what I mean? So it was like he was one of those guys that we're still not sure. Another question.
We might never see Cam Jackson again. There's so much depth on that interior now.
Yeah.
Don't forget Nick Scorton, a dude that had collapsed lung and came back in 2 weeks. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Scorton, Princely. There's some guys. I mean, we did well last year as far as the draft goes. I know we talk about it all the time. To me, that draft with XL and all that, I think that was the year that the scouting department, after that year, they fired everybody. And then
they did.
So last year and this year is the same scouting department, but different from the years prior. So we'll see how it goes. Because last year was great. I thought they did I think there's about four guys in that draft class that we drafted that could potentially help this team win football games. So
that's a great assessment of it. And I really do think this draft class has the opportunity to be kick-ass, dude. I mean, the thought of Lee Hunter as a true nose tackle and letting Derek Brown sort of be the edge in that 3-4 defense, dude, we have an opportunity to be nightmare fuel in the middle. I've said for a long time, I value interior pressure from your defense more than I do edge pressure, because that's what destroys the pockets for the opposing quarterback. If they can't step up into the pocket, then it forces them out. Most quarterbacks get more inaccurate when they're on the run. I really think that we have an opportunity to be special this year. I think that's probably where I'm most excited for the 2026 Panthers, is just to see how our defensive front seven is going to perform this year. Are we going to be more aggressive? Are we going to get after the passer more? Are we going to be able to stop the run consistently? Those are big deals to me, because then everything else sort of falls in place. All your corners, then you can play more zone coverage, and you don't have to be in press man. This is what the 2015 Panthers did. We got pressure on the quarterback. We were able to get into the opposing backfield, and our corners played fast, and our safeties played fast. Give them the opportunity to do the same thing. Yeah, I think we'll be good, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Cody. I think, the secondary last year wasn't like something that was a weakness of us for last year. I thought it was actually a big strength. I mean, we had JC on one side, Mike Jackson on the other. You had Trayvon Moorick. Like, you had some of these guys that were like playing really well. Our weakness was, like you said, getting pressure to the quarterback, and it's been like that for a few years now. And yeah, it starts up front, those four guys, and it's always been, I think that's always been the game plan for Dan Morgan, is he played on a team where it was like you had Chris Jenkins, you had Preston Buckner, you had Julius Peppers, you had some guys on that line that was going to cause havoc, and that was going to, help out behind them, where it was like you had your like Ricky Mannings, guys that you wouldn't think were necessarily these Pro Bowl type players, but they made big plays, and that's just because it started on the line in the trenches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I had no problem that the first and second pick of the draft were trenches. That's where you win football games. Yeah,
no, absolutely. We needed it. It's not always a sexy pick. I know there's people that wanted wide receiver, another receiver. We got one, just not like, I know Mekhi Lemon was sitting right there. Some people want him. I know Panther fans, when it comes to USC wide receivers, it hasn't been great. So
yeah, Wayne Jarrett. Every time I see a USC wide receiver, I think of Dwayne Jarrett.
A
lot of people say, "Who's that?" Google him, and that's all I tell you.
Jarrett. We had Kerry Colbert. We had a couple guys. It's just like never really worked out, but it is what it is. I mean, I think like there's always going to be weaknesses on every football team. And there's some in Carolina, but I think they made the right choice with the left tackle position. We really need to rebuild that O-line a little bit more.
Yeah. I heard y'all talk earlier. Let me throw this in there while Cody pulled this up. Call me old-fashioned. You can. I want my offensive
You're old-fashioned, people.
to where you damn right I am. I want
1800s.
my offensive linemen to wear 60s to 70 numbers. It looks messed up wearing 57. And I know Robert Hunt's wears number 50, but it's off base there.
Well, so I'm going to bring up the free agent numbers too. So Freeling is 57, but Jalen Phillips is number 5.
Yeah,
so that's another number that you don't normally see at that
55,
position.
55 is a classic linebacker number.
I feel like 50 through 59 are all linebacker numbers.
And I agree with Christensen though. The number 0 doesn't belong on the football field. Get it off.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't believe it. So that should there. I don't like defensive ends or my edge rushers wearing single digits.
No, I'm feeling it.
I'm just curious, Pickle. Is it just because of like you don't like the way it looks, or is it just because I mean, okay?
It's not right. It doesn't look
like
right.
you say, he's old fashioned.
He's old fashioned.
Yeah, he ain't used to the new. I mean, Monroe Freeland, he wore number 57 in college, so I mean, it looks
that's why I don't
look a little different, sure, but I mean, he wore in college. I mean, that was the number that he's used to wearing.
Just block our quarterback's blind side. I don't give a shit what number you are.
You wear whatever number you want, except for one.
Yeah, just block the quarterback for me, or block our quarterback for us. That's all.
So just to give y'all some more numbers, and you can give your opinion on whichever number. I don't care. I like Lee Hunter at 92. To me, that's a good defensive tackle number. Brazzell 19. That's another wide receiver number. Will Lee. We've had some good 24s on our team. Josh Norman was 24.
That's he's gonna be a stud.
Yeah, James Bradbury was 24.
Good cornerback number, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we do have some more numbers for the free agents. Jalen Phillips is 5. Devin Lloyd is number 55, which I like better than 0. You know what I mean? Especially for a linebacker. Right. I appreciate that from Devin Lloyd. Now, did Tershawn Wharton and Cam Jackson change numbers?
Yes.
Okay, so Tershawn Wharton is 98. I don't even remember what it was. Cam Jackson is 99. Jonathan Brooks went from 20.
Was 99.
Right, so Jonathan Brooks is now number 25.
Right.
Kenny Pickett is number 12. Mm-hmm. John Mechie is 13. Will Greer is 14, and AJ Dillon is 28. And the rest of it is just a bunch of who gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Bam Martin Scott. Does anyone even?
Hey, Bam.
Shit, I like Bam Martin Scott. Yeah. You better slow roll, Cody.
Might start.
No.
Because I tell you what, Dan, you wait till the 7th round to draft a linebacker. Shut the hell up. That's Mr. Vampire. Mr. Vampire. He looks like a vampire.
The interview with the vampire.
And if you look at him, if he ain't a vampire, he'll rush. He looked like a Russian. He looked like a vampire on Twitter.
I said it the other day, man. Just thinking about Kuwatch. I could hear G-Baby in my ear. He played in the MAC. He ain't nothing. He played in the MAC. That's the only. I put my draft grade out there. I put a B+, and people's like, "Oh, why didn't you give it an A?" The only reason why, to me, this draft wasn't an A is because we didn't take a linebacker earlier. That's the only reason. I love this draft. It's a very solid draft. You can ask Pickle. I jumped out my chair when we drafted the center. It's a long time coming. We've been needing to draft a center. The dude never gave up a sack in college.
Right.
I mean, I can't wait to see this man in the lineup.
Or a penalty, right?
Or a penalty.
Right. I don't see any reason whatsoever why he's not the starter week 1, day 1. Any reason. And don't give me that Luke dude. Y'all, I don't think that man's a quality backup, to be bluntly honest.
Wait, who?
That Luke Fortner dude. That's on the
Fortner?
depth chart to
Yeah,
be
from the
center.
Saints.
Yeah, do y'all think that Hecht is gonna win the center job outright?
I do.
I hope he
100%.
does. I do.
I
I
hope
hope
so,
he
too.
does.
That was low
Right.
key, probably my favorite draft pick.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Fortner-
if he wins the job, then
Right.
that's great because I mean that means we're banking on that pick. That was a good
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Cody, let me ask y'all this. Former Texan first round pick, Green, offensive guard, was at rookie minicamp. Because as an invite, I'd like
Wait,
to
who?
see him.
Kenyon Green, he's a former
Kenyon
first round
Green.
pick for the Houston
Mhm.
Texans, 2022. I think he was
Right.
in top 15 pick actually.
Right.
Yeah, this is his 14. He was on
Right.
2 different teams last year, but prior to that he was just with Houston.
What happened to him? Why did he bounce around so much?
I guess he never settled in to be that guard, but like
He
me
must
and
have
Pickle was
kinda
talking
sucked,
about, hey,
Right.
we got a
Right.
hell of an offensive line coach though. If Joe Gilbert can't get him
Right.
right, I don't think anybody can.
Because if not, and let me go over this just briefly. If we don't sign him as it currently stands, assuming Heck takes over as the starter at center, Luke Fortner is your best backup guard, other than Chandler Zavala.
And we don't want that.
We don't want Chandler Zavala on this field.
No, we don't.
So, Fortner.
I was saying this
Fortner
last
was said
Tuesday.
to be a better guard than center.
I think we have a better team this year than we did last year, but I do think our offensive line depth was better last year than it is this year. Just because behind some of these positions, what do we have behind Robert Hunt? What do we have behind Lewis? You know what I mean?
Much.
Like there's no
Yeah,
Brady Christensen, there's no
Right.
Corbett, there's no Cade Mays.
Right.
It's like we're sort of
Right.
I don't know,
mean,
that's
just
pretty-
directly behind Damian Lewis is Charles, Sadiq Charles, and Joshua Gray. And then behind Robert Hunt is Chandler Zavala and Jatiri Carter.
call that a bunch of who's motherfuckers.
That's why I hope
exactly.
Kenyon Green's workout goes very well, man, and he just works out with Joe Gilbert because he would be that depth piece we need as backup guard.
So they did bring him in for a workout. He was in for a workout.
It's like a tryout workout. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I seen him today. He was walking next to Monroe Freeland in the walkthrough. I'm pretty sure.
Right, he was right along with the.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean the O-line depth is a little bit shaky, but I mean obviously you hope that your O-line just stays intact. Usually that's like a recipe for success is when you're shifting a bunch of O linemen all around all year is when it gets a little dicey at times. So just hope that the line stays healthy this year, and hopefully we found a center in Hecht, and then and hopefully because if we're talking like what Pickle said, we start the rookie center, we're starting the rookie left tackle. There's gonna be some bumps and bruises. It's gonna happen. It's just it is what it is. They're rookies, so I mean it happens. So hopefully they pan out. That's I'm praying that they pan out.
Yeah, he's only 25.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I'm for it. I mean, more depth. We need this. I don't love the depth on this team, so I don't mind it at all. That would be pretty crazy if we do end up getting 2 starting offensive linemen from this draft in the form of Monroe Freeland and Sam Hecht. And just in general, how many starters do you think that we've drafted from this draft class right here, 2026?
3. In my opinion, 3.
Which ones? Who?
I got a Sam Heck. I think Chris Brazzell is going to start, and my third one would be Lee Hunter.
Okay.
Are you saying starting week 1?
I guess that is a good question. How about this?
Potentially start.
How many of them start this year? So not necessarily even week 1, but how many of them will play meaningful snaps for the Panthers this year?
I'll say 3 starters this year, but meaningful snaps, 5.
Okay, who?
So I think Freeling's going to take over at some point, maybe not week 1. I think Sam Heck, same thing, but most likely be week 1. And then Lee Hunter's going to get so many snaps that he might as well be a starter, or he could be a starter. But then I think Will Lee and Chris Brazzell will get meaningful snaps. I don't think Brazzell. I mean, I don't know, but I would put my money that Brazzell will not be wide receiver 2 this year.
I would agree with Chris. I'd say 5, providing you're looking at nickel starter as the starter. Because I'm going to look at Marone Filio start sometime this year. Lee Hunter is going to be in a heavy rotation. You might as well call him a starter. If not overstart, both because Wharton is going to be a rotational on passing downs only. Bobby Brown's only going to play on base packages as a nose or as a rotational. Lee Hunter's will definitely be a starter. Chris Brazzell, I think, will start, providing you include the slot receiver as a starter. And Will Lee will start at nickel. If not toward the end of the year, maybe even get a few reps as a number 2 because everyone knows they're going to move on from Mike Jack and Sam Heck as a starting center.
I got 3 starting, and then 4 potential gonna play meaningful. I got because what's considered a starter for wide receiver? Just 3 of them, 3 receivers out there, or 2? Is because it's gonna be Tet and Cody.
Well, man, from time to time, they're gonna have 4 receiver sets.
Yeah, from time to time.
Again, if you're on the field for a play in an actual game during the season, I consider that.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess 5 then, because Brazzell's gonna get out there. It's just that I don't think he's gonna be. I like I said, I still think XL is their 3, and he's gonna get the opportunity. Like he's gonna get that opportunity in the very beginning, and then I think Freeling. You don't draft him at 19 to not play at all, so he's gonna play. And I think Sam Heck wins it out, and then Lee Hunter's gonna be in that mix of rotation piece of someone that's gonna be out there consistently. Now, the slot guy that they got with him, Will Lee, he might get out there too. But I'm not too sure. Those are my 4 though. I would say Brazzell, Hunter, and then the 2 linemen. Hecht and Freeling. So
I like that. Go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna wait for Christian to go because I don't think he went yet.
Christian went.
Oh, my bad. Well, if at the end when you said meaningful snaps, you damn near could say all of them because if you see how Evero runs his defense, dude loves his safeties. You see 3 safety looks, you see multiple corner looks, and then our linebacker, Jackson Kuwatch could potentially get some meaningful snaps because that inside linebacker, Claude Charles is hurt all the time.
And I guess I should mention too, special teams is also meaningful snaps. So if any of these guys from Wheatley to Kuwatch, if they end up being special teamers, that is meaningful. You have to play special teams. So that's a good caveat. I don't know. I would say 4. I would say 4. I think Monroe Freeling, like Christian said, it might not be week 1. I do think Monroe Freeling is going to play this year. Big, strong, fast. Right. I just don't see him not playing. Chris Brazzell, I see him playing. I see Hecht playing, and Lee Hunter. And then I think the rest of the 3, maybe they might get some special team play. So I'll say comfortably, I'll say 4. Maybe we'll go 5.
If you're including special teams as meaningful reps and what you're talking about, then by all means, I think Kuwatch starts the season on practice squad. and I think the rest of them are active week ones.
Yeah, I mean, because
Some
like
form or fashion.
even last year, I mean, they had what 5 or 6 picks. They all played meaningful. I mean, you had
Right,
Jimmy
exactly.
Horn, Mitchell Evans.
I mean,
Cam
they
Jackson.
all played somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
So last
I mean,
year
you
they
got
all.
Corey Thornton was undrafted,
Right.
y'all, and he
Because-
had meaningful snaps.
Yeah,
right, because
yeah.
you take most of the time you're going to use all your a majority of your safeties active on special teams. Your corners you are. So I mean, we drafted special teams, a guy who can play special teams and weekly, and a lot of people are calling him. I didn't really research him a lot before we drafted him, but people are saying that he can push Scott out of the way. He could start over Scott. Him or Lance Ransom one could. Then you got, we've already talked about Hick. We've already talked about Will Lee. Weekly could very easily play on special teams. If not, maybe push somebody for a job. Because like Jake said, Ivero loves his safeties. He loves his safety. He's frequently going after 5 safeties. Or he goes at his rosters with 5 safeties active. He loves his safeties.
I hope so, man. I hope Isaiah Simmons gets a chance. I mean, I
Right.
brought it up before, man. I think that there's no reason for him to not get some play. Too athletic, too much of a big freak of nature being on the field. If you could utilize that talent, why not do it?
Right.
Real quick. So this will be our final subject for the night. Let me ask y'all. So ML Football put this out. This is their top 10 players in the NFC South. And we can discuss this, but as we discuss this, I want to bring up who is the toughest competitor in the NFC South. So we're the reigning, defending NFC South champions. If anyone has the ability to take it off of us, who is it?
I'll go first.
Yeah, man, jump in.
I think it's the Saints. I think the Saints are getting kind of scary for me because Tyler Shuck, man, he was he definitely outperformed what all of his naysayers were saying when he got drafted.
Yep.
I think he's that big, semi-athletic quarterback who can sit in the pocket, make every NFL throw. They just got him some more weapons. They got Travis Achan. I think it's pronounced Achan now.
It is. It's just so weird to me because I know I'm a Clemson fan. I've been saying Travis Etienne.
It's never been Etienne, apparently. That's what's bad about it.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't he ever say nothing to no one? Like, why would he never ever just say, "Hey, my name is Achan"? It's not like that's even hard to pronounce.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, Achan.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, just there's some, and then they beat. Not to mention they beat us twice. Last year. So
yeah,
and it's not just that. I truly think that they made some big improvements. I'm not that high on the Bucks. I think that that ship's deflating a little bit in my eyes. And then the Falcons, they're just the fucking Falcons.
I mean, why are there 3 Falcons up here? I mean, did what you say whoever wrote this out?
I don't agree with.
I don't follow them at all.
Yeah.
I think I got them blocked, to be honest. I mean, we beat the Falcons twice.
Yep.
Or we beat him twice. I mean, Derek Brown picks Lindstrom up and throws him like a rag ball on a regular basis.
Yeah, how do you not have Derek Brown on this
JC
list?
Horn's pretty much wiped Linden's.
How do you have Tyler Shuck?
Toilet paper and wiped his ass.
How do you have Tyler Shuck over Derek Brown?
Kay Adams,
come on.
She talked about it too, like the disrespect that Derek Brown got last year.
I mean,
ridiculous.
this is I'm not disrespecting your list or your thing, but ML is the reason.
It ain't my list. Disrespect it all you want. It ain't my list.
I mean, these people are dumber than a bucket of shit rocks. They actually blocked me because I called the guy. I said, where do you get your info at? Cracker Jack's box, or do you actually fuck two men in a dark alley to get it. And they didn't like that comment at all. But they blocked me shortly after I said it. So it was about something else. But
no offense to everyone who fucks two men in a dark alley.
Yeah, it's just by purely coincidence.
Man.
You do, bro. Just don't.
I will say, I think that Bijan Robinson, he's a good running back, but everybody wants to pretend like he's this fucking crazy world beater. Like, I don't even put him on a Saquon Barkley level.
No, he's not.
He's not. Like,
wait. But he's the best. He's the best in this list, hands down.
You think he's the best player on this whole
this list? He's the best player on this list.
I doubt that. I would rather have T-Mac than.
I was going to say after this. I agree. I agree with Alex right now. I do agree with him right now, but after this year, I don't think he will be.
I mean, he's not. He's
hey,
not
fellas, that boy won me a fantasy football championship.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
You're a little bit biased.
It's all about fantasy.
You're biased.
Hey, no, I'm not. That he could.
No, you're not wrong. No, you're not the only person.
I'm not. He's a good running back. Maybe even a great running back. But I will never call an Atlanta Falcon player the best in the NFL. It will never ever happen. I listen. I think if you live in Atlanta, you're living a pretty sorry ass life. To be bluntly honest,
he's
it is
number
after
one in the
9 o'clock.
NFC South though. He's the best player in the NFC South.
Yeah.
I mean,
who's
I
the
would
best
take
player in the
Derek
NFC South?
Bijan
I'm about to say
Robinson.
Derek Brown's
Oh,
pretty high
hell
up there.
no.
I can't believe he's
Hell
not on
no.
this list.
No.
Dude, if I was an expansion team right now, I would take DB over Bijan Robinson any day of the week.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Well,
hey, I might even. I'll probably take
About
JC
that one.
Horn. I'll probably take JC Horn over Bijan.
Well, not when he's facing a lobby.
Good thing Alex
No.
is at the bottom of this group. Good thing he's all the way down to the bottom.
it's all right. 1,500 yards, I would take it, man. 1,508, 7 touchdowns.
I mean, I'm
but-
not calling him trash or nothing.
Well, but let's be real though. He had all those yards because he didn't have any quarterback.
But also, how about this? Let's put some respect on Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs has been a dog forever.
Bijan Robinson did get his head coach fired.
He had all those yards, but you know that they don't have a
And his
quarterback.
head
They're
coach
still
got
putting
fired.
8 or 9 in the box.
Well,
and
but
they're
it's
still
unfair
doing
to say
And his head
Bijan
coach still
was
got
the one
fired.
that got him fired. It wasn't Bijan. It was the whole.
But he's still on
fucking team.
he's still on the roster.
No, Bijan Robinson's. I mean, he's really.
I'm
I would
just-
say
I'm
he's
just
probably
being asked, but
in running backs. He's got to
right.
be. He's
But-
got to be a top 5 running
No.
back.
No,
you're right.
listen. The Atlanta Falcon players are massively overrated by a majority of the folks in the NFL, strictly because their owner pushes them that way. Okay, it's like Baker Mayfield. Don't misunderstand me. He's okay, but let's be real. He's not the best quarterback in the NFC South.
Wouldn't
Who is?
I
Atlanta
mean,
Who's the
technically-
best? Who's the best quarterback in the NFC South?
you really
here
want
we
me to
go.
answer that?
Here we go.
I'll answer it for you. Haynes King.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Man,
All right, y'all say bye to Pickle.
Hey,
Bye to Pickle. Have a good
Hey,
one,
no,
buddy. Hope you had a
now
good
you can put him at the bottom.
See how you go.
yeah. I'm putting
I
Pickle
see
at the
how you
bottom.
are.
Hey,
I
Pickle,
see
you
how
at the
you are.
bottom now.
Kick
Yeah,
me
yeah.
out. Kick me out because I'm a Panther fan. But
You
Mr.
gotta go to the
Atlanta
bottom.
Falcon Alex praises
Oh, he
the
said
Atlanta
Mr.
Falcon
Atlanta
running back,
Falcons out.
and you keep him in there. I see how this shit
If
is.
this was
Pickle,
Pickle's
we
list,
are
it
all-
would be all
Yo, this
Panthers.
is
Pickle,
the
understand.
this is
No.
a C3 Atlanta Falcon
Understand.
podcast.
No, we are all collectively dumber for having heard what you just said about Haynes King. Like, I lost 5 IQ points in the process. Okay, my head hurts.
But what do you want me to say?
Well,
Really?
you know.
You want me to say Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in the division? You want me to
He
say
is-
Bryce Young?
No. I think that,
Exactly.
how about this?
I mean,
How about this? The quarterbacks in the NFC South, not that great.
you damn right. I agree to that one.
well, how about First, I think the original question was what team can challenge us, right? But
Yes.
to go to your second question, Cody, I'd like to hear everyone's answers because I kind of already gave mine. I think Tyler Shuck is the best quarterback.
And you know what? And to your credit, the Saints, they're building around Tyler Shuck. They got another really good defensive player in Christian Miller from Georgia. They got another wide receiver. They got Travis Etienne. They are building in the right direction. And Chris Olave, I think Alex mentioned it, or no, when did you mention it? Yeah, Olave has J.C. Horn's number.
Yeah.
Like J.C. Horn has proven that he is not covering Chris Olave, at least to this point. So you're not far off of that. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next, and I'll be realistic. I'll be for real this time. I understand. I would say the Saints myself because while the Bucks have a lot of players on their team, to me, they seem like this franchise that's stuck in rear. They're stuck in neutral. People are in forward. Some people are in first gear or second gear. They're kind of stuck in neutral. The Falcons are stuck in reverse. Maybe the Panthers. As a fanboy, I'll say the Panthers are in first gear, but the Saints are in just first or second gear. They're getting better as a team. They're moving forward. The Atlanta Falcons are either neutral or reverse, and the Bucks are in neutral. They're not really getting better. They're not really getting worse either. They lost Evans, but they also gained a few different players. But the Falcons or the Saints purposely went out and made themselves better by adding players. My only question about Robert Shuck Tyler Shuck rather, does he face a sophomore slump as often happens?
Wait, so hold on. I'm confused. Who is but which one is the biggest threat to the Panthers?
The Saints.
Okay.
The Saints.
We agree.
But like I said, does Tyler Shuck suffer a sophomore slump?
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Hopefully, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's a.
I'm sorry. I heard a guy the other day describe Tyler Shuck as the Andy Dalton of the Bengals.
He's way more athletic than Dalton ever was.
Well, I don't think they're talking about athleticism. I think they're talking about the situation he's in and with his arm talent.
Okay. Alex, go ahead, man.
It wouldn't be hard to be more athletic than Andy Dalton, but go ahead, Alex.
Just a quick comment on that. I didn't want to forget it. I think one of our own players, and I think it was Robert Hunt, had a comment after they played the Saints where I think the comment had something to do with he just got out of division with Jared Allen after he left the Dolphins, and now he's got to deal with a Tyler Shuck. When a veteran like that says something of a rookie quarterback, I mean, I don't know, man. He worries me, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I hear you.
It's funny because like the question, I mean, 3 of these teams are 8-9, so it was like, and then you had the Saints too, so it's like that were right there. So all these teams, to me, they're right around like they're all pretty. I'd say they're pretty even right now until we see otherwise. They're all pretty even. But if I were to say like the biggest threat, obviously I think it's the Saints just because they had our number last year. But at the same time, I think Carolina like made moves this offseason and in this draft to where it's like the defense is going to take another step forward. Like I know Pickle and we talked about it a couple years ago because I was pounding the table like, man, Evero, like let him have some healthy players this next season and we'll see what happens. And that was when they were like ranked 32. And then this last season, they took a step forward and Derek Brown played huge and he was out all year the year prior. So I was like, now we're starting to add some more guys, Devin Lloyd, Jalen Phillips, like we're adding some pieces like, and I really think that's going to make a huge difference where hopefully we don't have to see these guys just standing upright for 8 to 10 seconds and getting it's too hard for secondaries to just hold up, and then they just get open eventually. So that's kind of my thoughts. But yeah, for sure it's the Saints. And like Pickle said, hopefully that sophomore slump, we have a little bit more tape on Tyler Shuck, and that's what we're hoping for.
Panther 7496 said in the chat, we got to remember that the quarterback is fine, or he says they can have the best quarterback, but when their 1 and 2 receivers are always hurt all the time, I mean, that does make a big difference.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I'm not so high on Tampa Bay anymore is because I just don't know how much to trust Baker Mayfield without Mike Evans. I think that's been such a big part of why they've been a good team.
Baker's on a contract too, by the way. Baker is on a contract year, so you see a scenario where he leaves.
Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I was just going to add on to your Tampa Bay scenario too. I don't think it's just Mike Evans too. They lost Levante David to retirement.
Yeah.
They lost a pretty good amount of veterans actually. So I do think they're going to take a step back. And I agree with the whole panel. I do think the Saints are going to be our biggest competition, but I still think we're going to win the division once again, back to back. But yeah, and then you got the Atlanta situation where you don't even know who the quarterback is right now. They don't really have a quarterback. You got the Saints, Tyler Shuck, he's been good. I don't like him. I especially don't like him when he faked the injury, flopped pretty much, and then told after the game said he did it on purpose and laughed about it. I'm gonna give you a reason to not be laughing about it. If I'm them. If I'm gonna get a flag, I'm gonna make you feel it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you feel it next time.
The next time,
and there will be, and it don't even have to be us. Teams don't like that. Defensive players personally do not like that shit. You admit to it after the game. Yeah, there's gonna be somebody out there with your number.
He's gonna try that at some point this coming season. Somebody's gonna fuck that boy up bad, and he only has himself to blame. And I'm gonna be bluntly honest. I hope he's a Carolina Panther player. I want to see them.
Jalen Phillips.
Shut up.
No, I don't want it to be a starter. Just get somebody out there that's way down the depth chart to do it.
Yeah, we don't want him to get suspended.
Let it be Tertiary Wharton.
No, man. No. How about none of our starters?
Right. I tell you what. Let me rephrase that. Let it be somebody from Tampa. Somebody from Atlanta. I don't want to see anybody in the NFL hurt. That's not my point. But don't fake an injury to get yourself ahead. I personally believe if they're teaching their players to do that, then it's pretty low class organization. And I have zero respect that if I'm the commissioner, and we all know I'm not, but if I was a commissioner, the Saints would not have drafted a first round pick over that. Because payback.
I just think it was a bang play, and he sold
it. I know. He admitted. He said on the
press he sold it.
That I faked that entire thing.
Yeah, no, I mean he sold the play.
So yeah, but that's my point though. He wouldn't sell it the next time because the next time I'm not stopping. The next time they'll carry his ass off the field, and if his legs broke, so by God be it. If he's knocked unconscious, so by God be it. And when I am introduced to the NFL, Roger Goodell, commissioner, I'm going to show him film of what happened last year. And he said, I faked it. And I would say, how am I supposed to know when he's actually hurt or not when he fakes being injured?
Yeah.
How do you know whether he's really hurt or not when he's faking injury?
Oh no, I mean, yeah, the fake the injury parts, yeah, but at the same time, defenses know not to. They unfortunately they have to slow up. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that's just like. And Ransom knows. He knows. He was like, it was a bang, but I should have slowed up. But that's all you could do. I mean, move on past it. It is what it is.
Listen, it was late to Ransom. It was late to Ransom. Late to Ransom. He may not go easy next time. He may not go.
He didn't go easy on that running back either.
He did.
No, he didn't. No. I don't want him to. If I'm his coach, I'm telling him. If I'm the coach of the Carolina Panthers, I'm telling all my defensive guys, don't let up. If you get fined, I'll pay it, but don't let up. If you get an opportunity to knock that son of a bitch out, then do it.
That sounds like Bountygate.
It is what it is.
This is
Saints
not
have
the
been
first.
known.
This is not the first time that Pickle has called for violence on the
Nah,
free throw.
It won't be the last either.
It ain't be the last.
No.
And if you're a Saint fan and you don't like it, you kiss my
Pickle.
ass.
If I'm ever now, that means if I'm ever head coach of the Carolina Panthers, I can't hire you on my staff because you're gonna get us fined and losing draft picks and shit. See, now you're just
make me
second-guessing
make me an associate. Make me an advisor. They do it all the time. Just an advisor, an associate advisor.
What about like giving water to the players in between snaps and stuff?
I can do that.
All right, cool.
I can do that. I can assist the cheerleaders in the shower.
Yeah, I mean,
the real women,
only
the real women.
Oh, here
only
we go.
the real women.
It's past 9 o'clock.
Y'all said by the
I got kicked out twice.
Richardson. That's hilarious. All right, boys. Hey, man, we're going to get on up out of here and call it a Friday free for all. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Let me get your final thoughts for the free for all until we do this again next Friday. Shout out to my boy Alex holding it down on the West Coast. That's the left coast. Alex, appreciate you, bro. Give me your final thoughts.
No, appreciate you guys. It's always nice spending time talking Panther football on Fridays with you guys when I have the chance. And Cody, I appreciate you just taking the time out of your busy life, busy schedule, like just to do this for all of us. So that's all I wanted to say. Brother.
If Panther fans enjoy your free for all, shut up, Pickle. If Panther fans enjoy a free for all, then we're gonna have a free for all. That's how it is, man. My man Jake the Snake back on the free for all. Happy to see you, man. Happy that you're doing well.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Give me your final thoughts for the Friday free for all, man.
Happy to be here. Happy to be on here with y'all. You didn't ask it, Cody. It might be way too early, but I already gave my record prediction. I got mine right last year. I got mine right. I said 8-9. We ended up being 8-9. This year, I got us going 11-6, baby. 11-6.
Oh,
I like it. Back to back. NFC South champs, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Keep pounding, baby. I like that. I like that all day. Host of the Blue and Black Attack podcast, Panther Pickle. Give me your final thoughts.
Yeah. Y'all keep pounding. Hit that like, subscribe, and follow my podcast at the Blue Black Attack. Y'all, the Panthers are the real number one team in this division. Y'all know that. We gonna win this shit back to back. And this year, we ain't taking prisoners. This year, we ain't gonna be nice about it. This year, we're gonna butt thump the Falcons, butt thump the Saints, and butt thump that pussy quarterback the Saints got. That's right. I said it.
Damn.
And
I don't know how I feel about butt thumping, but
I didn't.
I don't even know what that is.
I didn't mention. I really don't either. I made it up last minute, but it's a West Virginia term, so you got to be up there in the mountain.
I don't know what y'all be doing in West Virginia, but all right, cool.
But it's a nicer way of saying ass kick.
Okay.
But,
I'd say that after drinking some moonshine in West Virginia. I feel you.
All right, next up, my man Christian Sigma Panther. Appreciate you again, bro. Give me your final thoughts for this Friday free for all.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to mention too much butt thumping, but it was good to see Jake. Good to see you, man. Back on here, and everyone that joined, Alex and Pickle. It's always we always have a tendency. We have this weird knack of always being able to talk about something with Panther football. Sometimes yell at each other, debate, discuss topics, even during a slow off season. But it's going to be fun to see once as we get more information through rookie camp, off season, drills or whatnot. Just the wide receiver room is going to be fun to watch and see how that plays out. And then, see how the rookies do, see how last year's rookies do, and then how we keep building. I'm just hoping that our offense can progress because I think our defense, like Alex was saying earlier, is looking better on paper and after last year's improvement too. So, until next week, man, I'm sure we'll come up with other things to talk about then.
I'm sure we will. And even if there isn't, we'll make some shit up, because that's what we do. Keep pounding. C3 Legion. Love y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time we go live. This next week, me and Tony are going to be putting out some videos about each and every one of the draft picks for the Carolina Panthers. So be on the lookout for that. We got content coming your way. C3 Legion, love y'all. Have a fantastic Mother's Day weekend. That's another thing. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Love y'all. Appreciate what y'all do for all of us. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And like always, keep pounding.
Yeah, keep pounding. Happy Mother's Day, Jackie.
Keep pounding.
My mom. Happy Mother's